Bigfoot right now, back on the radar at a Tampa Bay park.
He died in 1978.
So you've got Gilbert the Ghost after you.
Gilbert the Ghost, yeah, great name.
Who are you going to call?
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else in the leprechaun say yeah?
Is something really out there? 3 more U.S. senators received a classified briefing about UFOs at the Pentagon.
Others find it hard to believe and have come up with their own theories and explanations.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff.
Oh, it's the most scariest, terrifying thing I've seen in my life. I've seen in my life. I've seen in my life. I've seen in my life.
Welcome to Mysteriousnesses, episode number 39.
Woohoo, we're back.
And we're back.
I am your host, John Jay, and with me, as always, is our resident conspiracy theory expert, Hugh Carey. To my right.
Am
we,
I?
We got our witchy bitch over here, Lauren Lance. And special guest this evening, Reiki guru and crystal expert, Shellie Harris.
Hello.
Oh, and David as well.
And we got
He also is a crystal
David.
expert.
David's a lump in the corner.
I'm in the corner tonight.
Crystal meth expert.
Yes.
Yeah, make sure you get right up on that mic, Shellie, so we can hear you. We got a great show for you this evening. We're going to be, in our feature segment, we're going to be talking about Project Looking Glass, which is, this is a rabbit hole, okay? This is, like, Hugh started sending me stuff about this, and I started, I don't know, my brain started shutting off because it's so fucking much. It's a lot.
That was a lot of getting this entire podcast together. Is like this episode in particular, we would like send you stuff, and you were like, "I can't even do this. Like, I refuse to even look at this link."
You guys are jumping down these weird TikTok rabbit holes, and
You're just a bit of a snob, though, when it comes to the stuff that Lauren and I are looking up, because like, I don't want to talk about none of that stuff on TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't want no TikTok.
I don't know. I don't want to know what the kids
astral
are doing.
projection CIA?
no, it's Zoomers think that they they invented The Secret, and now they're talking about it a lot on TikTok. Yeah.
I mean, that
Someone
kind
stole
of
the
a
book from their
Zoomer?
mom's bedroom.
That's
Yeah.
people younger than us, the generation younger than us.
Who says that?
Everybody. That's a thing now.
Gen Z. Yeah.
Zoomer.
Zoomer.
Gen Z. Zoomers and
I
boomers.
learned a thing today.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Actually, you might be a Zoomer.
What
Are
year
you a
were you
Zoomer?
born?
91. I'm turning
No.
30.
No. What's
You're-
a Zoomer after 2000?
It's after, I
95.
think,
95.
95.
I
After 95,
don't,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't want anything to do with a Zoomer.
Yeah, no, you don't want that. You don't need that in your life.
Nope.
No, it was so bad that we were sharing links and stuff on our chat, and one of them we couldn't even pull up.
Facebook would not even allow me to send the
We
link
were
to the
that
articles
deep. That
to
deep.
what we're going to talk about today, because it has to do, and I don't want to say it's a letter and then the word ANON, because if you say anything about that,
You're
immediately
canceled. You're
fired.
gone.
Really?
Yeah.
So all the platforms are I guess they're deplatforming these people?
Yes.
They're not only
Which-
deplatforming them, but in a private setting, in my own personal messaging, they're not allowing me to communicate with you guys what I wish to communicate. And I understand like the damage it can do to society.
Yeah,
but
I
that's
kinda get
between
it.
me and one other person.
It's one of the later letters in the alphabet combined.
It rhymes with Hugh.
Okay, I demand credit for this nickname.
Actually, all right, I'm just going to say, who cares? Nobody's watching this anyways. Shellie actually calls me Hugh Anon. And
Or human centipede.
Human centipede. Well, that's
that's
at our
not
Eyes
allowed.
Wide Shut
Okay.
parties.
It's really weird to me that that's the second time I've heard that today. Like
Human
human
centipede?
centipede is like in my personal zeitgeist right
You
now.
get it's like HUGH.
Huge
Human
centipede. Yeah,
Human
No,
centipede.
I think it's maybe it's in my destiny, you guys.
Yeah,
don't know.
I guess.
I don't know what's coming.
Well, okay, where would you be in the lineup?
I've
Front, middle, or back?
I've spent so much time thinking about this.
She's
as a matter of fact.
she's the back half.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in the back
no,
half.
No. I'm a sturdy middle. Sturdy, and I'll tell you why.
The Lucky Pierre.
Yeah, yes. I'll tell you why. Because really, once it, like
I don't know if we need to get into this.
well, okay,
We do.
The beginning sucks. I'll tell you. Like I admit that. Like the beginning sucks the most. Both literally and you know talking about it. But like once you're there, you're there. There's nothing else to think about. Like
I think that applies to everybody in that circumstance, not just the person
yeah,
in the
but
middle.
like
Lauren.
you don't. I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's still like I have a purpose.
I don't think you have a purpose.
I'm just
No?
really
We're-
glad
all
that
right,
my
I'm just searching
nickname
for
sparked
that.
this whole podcast segment,
Thank you, Shellie.
and it makes me happy.
See, you're manifesting without even knowing it.
Yes.
Don't get me started on the manifesting. All right. I do want to welcome everybody back. How do you guys like the new studio? Because this is the
I
first
love it.
time
I love
you
this.
two have been in here.
It's
This
pretty
is
neat.
this is nice, right?
It's
an
nice.
upgrade.
Actually, it's a
checkers
downgrade
game.
because there's not a wall of dicks for me to look at.
Yeah,
while I'm
I
sitting
missed
Right.
the wall.
Those
of
are
dicks.
dragons.
And there's no
here.
ghosts
that's
either.
right.
So
Yeah, and there's no ghosts.
No shadow.
But if you
None
turn
that
that
I've
light a
seen.
little bit more on my skin,
you'll be a
I
ghost.
will
Yeah.
become fully opaque.
Do the foam things serve like a functional purpose, or do they just look cool?
No, it's to stop echoes from moving around the
Yeah,
room.
they
Groovy.
kind of
Cool,
suck up
cool, cool.
the sound.
And they look like DMT trips.
Let's start with some science news.
Science.
Hunter-gatherers first launched violent raids at least 13,400 years ago. Can I not click on this?
You got to click that and then click the actual link that just popped up there.
Oh, I see.
We did a lot of work before this episode.
Yeah.
The reason why we were taking such a break between the last episode and this one is because we took so much time and effort.
We have really been
put
trying
this
to
to
make
get to
this
the
show
production.
flow. Yeah, the production value is so high.
Yeah.
Look at this high quality, untouched wood we have in front of
Yeah.
you, everyone.
Oh, I
Feel
thought you
the
were
wood.
going to point.
More than
That's
8,000
been
years
touched.
before the rise of Egyptian civilization, hunter-gatherers went on an attack in the Nile Valley. Skeletons of adults, teens, and children excavated in the 1960s at an ancient cemetery in Sudan known as Jebel Sahaba display injuries incurred in repeated skirmishes, raids, or ambushes, say paleoanthropologist Isabel Crevecoeur and her colleagues. The site, which dates between 13,400 and 18,600 years ago, provides the oldest known evidence of regular, small-scale conflicts among human groups. So that's pretty interesting stuff, right? So we just kind of always been at war. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, didn't anyone
Yes.
see 2001: A Space Odyssey?
I
Yeah.
also feel like the word skirmish is a bit of an understatement when it comes to death.
Yeah, like if you're bashing someone's brains out, it's a bit more than a
Yeah.
skirmish.
It's a little bit of a
It was
skirmish.
a skirmish. My husband was shot in the head.
Death was more common back then. It was just like an everyday thing.
Yeah, I mean, people didn't live past 25 anyway. Repeated violent episodes were probably triggered by well-recorded environmental changes around the time people were buried there. So, signs of human activity declined sharply in the Nile Valley between around 126,000 and 11,700 years ago. Toward the end of that span, hunter-gatherers occupied floodplains in what's now southern Egypt and northern Sudan. As the Ice Age waned, a fluctuating climate contributed to declines in prime fishing and hunting spots. Competition for those resources probably triggered fighting among regional groups, the researchers suspect. So it's basically climate change is what invented war.
Yeah,
So-
and I don't feel like that's something we ever have to worry about ever again.
Yeah, I mean, we're not
done,
gonna,
right?
Now we have war for profit, so you don't even need climate change.
Yeah,
We don't even need a climate.
we surpassed the need for climate change.
No more change, only war.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's see. Hugh, you want to jump on this next one?
sure. Apparently, quantum physics states that death doesn't exist and it's probably just an illusion.
Okay, I don't understand this at
So,
all.
checkmate, psychiatrist. I am not schizophrenic. It's all an illusion. I'm going to need to turn. Can you move that?
Oh, you need me to turn this?
Wait. All right, so since the beginning of time, man has questioned what's happened after death, of course, and there are a variety of typical answers to this question. But scientists may have added an infinite number of possibilities just to shake things up.
Woo!
Because I feel like that's what scientists really do. They never really conclude things when it
Just
comes
keep
to the
asking
paranormal.
questions?
Yeah.
They just continue to shake it up. So according to Robert Lanza, M.D., death is actually a door to an endless number of universes. Furthermore, during our life, Lanza asserts that anything that possibly can happen is happening in some universe. And we actually were having the same conversation, what was it, on Friday night?
Oh, yes.
And Jander was also heavily just in it.
By in it, meaning he was visiting all those
He
universes.
was asleep, wishing he
Asleep.
was dead.
Yeah.
He was in one of those, like, Will they please shut up?
Yeah, can they stop fucking talking?
Oh no, I don't want to hear my girlfriend talk about this anymore.
So basically, they say there's this thing called biocentrism, and it asserts that life and consciousness are both fundamental to the ways of the universe. And he further theorizes that it is our consciousness that creates the material universe instead of the other way around. He believes that when we die, we experience a break in the string that binds the mind and body together as one. One that takes this place, we also experience a break with our connection of times and places. That happens to me at least 7 times a day at work. So
Every time I take a shit.
I probably have died numerous times.
No, but that's
week.
interesting because it's interesting the way it's worded, actually, because he says string in particular, and that kind of brings to mind that whole, like, golden thread, silver thread. I don't know if anyone else in the room has read about that, but the idea that, like, basically your brain is just like a meat radio for your consciousness, and that really we're all connected by this silver golden thread that kind of connects us to, when you're thinking about the internet, like the cloud, essentially. So you're
the universe.
Yeah, the universe.
Like an Ethernet cord.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, you're picking up this frequency that is your consciousness, but when you die, it just goes back to the cloud.
Frequency's
and
still there.
It's still there, yeah.
I find it disturbing when quantum physics is like lining up with like crystal enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Like that's what starts to scare me when that kind of thing
I'm
happens.
not sure why, but I feel attacked.
Shelley's like, I am a quantum crystal
Well,
theorist.
I mean, you've heard of this idea before, not presented in a scientific means, but you've heard of this idea before that that your brain is just an antenna for consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something that's been floating around in New Age circles for quite some time, and now like quantum physics is kind of lining up with that. That's kind of freaky.
No, I'm super excited about the idea that like people who have done DMT and scientists are like meeting in the middle now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, let me tell you about this cool thing I saw on Saturday. Oh, well that lines up completely with these things that I've been looking into. And that's what's really exciting, is that it's people. You don't have to be a scientist. I mean, it's great, and I think it's very, like, it's awesome to have that scientific backup and to be able to, like, pick apart these kind of ideas that may or may not be true. They're kind of like, in spirituality, it's like, I have a hunch that it's this way.
Right.
And then finding, like, scientists, and they're like, no, we actually think that we have, like, mathematical reasons why it might be that way. That's fucking amazing. Like that actually is why it's one of the greatest times to be alive is right now.
We just need to get these scientists to do DMT. And
I think some of them do.
A lot of them do. Yeah.
Oh,
a lot
I
of
know Joe Rogan
microdose.
did.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them microdose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, microdosing.
Maybe not DMT, but
I was gonna say, there is no
microdosing
such
like
thing.
psilocybin and LSD and stuff like that. It doesn't do that much. It's more of just a cure for like depression, pretty much.
Yeah, but a lot of the people in like the tech industry,
the Silicon Valley,
they are like enthusiastic about doing microdosing.
It helps them
and
expand.
Apparently, you get more creative and you're.
I feel
more
like
open
I
and
would
receptive.
I would start with microdosing, and then by the end of the week I would just be macrodosing, and I'd be just like tripping balls, like I need this for my positivity and creativity.
Yeah, I need my little rainbow friend to help me out while I do this project.
And in all reality, microdosing is just a very nice way of saying getting high at work. So
I would
yeah.
love to. Big time. That would be. But I'm really proud of us right now because I feel like this podcast is really going to go somewhere because we've already hit the like, hey man, have you tried DMT part of the podcast? So we're
in.
We're in right now.
Hey, can someone give me an elk steak so I
Yeah.
can have something to eat?
Just go. You can.
Shelley, there's
Jamie-
a bow and arrow in
Jamie,
the
pull
hallway.
that up.
Yeah.
David, pull that up.
Where is this coming from?
Something mysteriously wiped out about 90% of sharks 19 million years ago.
No, I like
Weird.
sharks.
Could be interesting.
About 19 million
Something.
years ago, something terrible happened to sharks. Fossils gleaned from scientists in the Pacific Ocean reveal a previously unknown and dramatic shark extinction event during which populations of the predators abruptly dropped by up to 90%.
The visual I got when you said a dramatic shark.
Dramatic.
It's like they all fell and clutched their pearls.
Oh yeah, and like the curtains closed. It's like a big thing.
It's a great mystery, says Elizabeth Siebert, a paleontologist and oceanographer at the Yale University. Sharks have been around for about 400 million years. They've been through hell and back, and this event wiped out up to 90% of them. Sharks suffered losses of 30 to 40% in the aftermath of the asteroid strike that killed off all non-bird dinosaurs. So the asteroid strike only killed off 30 to 40%. This event killed off up to 90%.
I can just see like an old shark in like a cave telling all the younger sharks this same legend over and over again of back when the old asteroid struck.
Maybe it was shark cancer because they don't really get cancer now.
Yeah,
Maybe it's shark
maybe they
COVID.
evolved past cancer.
Yeah.
Maybe we can cure cancer if 90% of humans got cancer, then they would definitely cure that shit by now, right?
Yeah.
I would
100%.
hope so. Oh my god. So maybe we should. Okay, we all just need some shark DNA. There it is, done,
Yeah.
fixed, right here.
All you got to do is smoke some shark DNA.
Oh yes, there we go.
Oh,
I would like
the
to snort
sharks
it.
need to do DMT.
Ah, there it is. We can-
DMC.
Yeah, we can meet on the astral plane with the sharks, and they can teach us how to recover from our cancer.
You guys say that, but there is like this weird connection because I'm like in all these weird DMT spiritual groups on Facebook, and there's a weird connection between people in Australia specifically that do DMT and speak with whales.
That's
very
pretty good.
That's very niche.
What kind of conversations do you have with whales?
Well, have
like
you ever
that.
been to
I
a
feel
Weight
like doing
Watchers?
DMT in the ocean would be dangerous.
It probably
Also,
would be.
yes, yeah, that. No, but like, what kind of conversation would you have? It's like, hey, how's it going, bro? I'm big and I'm in the ocean. Like, what the fuck is a whale gonna tell you? That's gonna be.
Can I phone a lesbian on this? Because I feel like they would have a lot to ask. 'Cause they love whale watching, right?
News segment. On
Smackle is here, and he says, I got to this a little late because I've been running the news stories, but he says, Lauren sounds like she's advertising a timeshare. I don't
On
know
what?
I don't know what that was in reference to. Smackle, could you let me know? I got to that late. And he also gave us, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 bits. Thank you, Smackle.
Thank you, Smackle, for showing us your biddies.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
that's great.
Let's see.
I will tell all the whales about your contribution.
Which one do you want to do next, Hugh? Nuclear. Let's do Chernobyl may explode again.
Yes.
Oh,
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, this is gonna make us feel real good.
Tons of nuclear fuel in the wrecked plant's basement has started to react again, and it's showing no signs of stopping.
Ooh.
That is such a great headline, like for people that
pretty
get
good.
scared about every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, nuclear reactions are smoldering again in an inaccessible basement on the wrecked Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine. Researchers are monitoring the plant, which infamously exploded in a deadly 1986 meltdown. They've detected a steady spike in the number of neutrons in an underground room called 305/2.
Great name.
Yeah, that makes sense. The room is full of heavy rubble, concealing a radioactive mush of uranium, zirconium, graphite, and sand that oozed into the plant's basement like lava before hardening into formations called fuel-containing materials. Rising neutron levels indicate that the FCMs are undergoing new fission reactions as neutrons strike and split the nuclei of uranium atoms, creating energy. So, did you guys see the Chernobyl
I don't know what
TV
any of that
show
means.
on HBO?
I saw the first episode.
How
yeah.
could you not finish it? It was so good.
Because
it was hard to watch.
It made me very like Shellie. Did you watch it?
Did you see the Chernobyl doc or the series on HBO?
She's looking at you like I would. Like, you guys know Shellie. Is that something that she would watch?
Well, I'm just telling
know.
you, for your own sake, don't watch it
Why?
because it stressed me out. Like I had a panic attack. Like it messed me
You
up
want me to
pretty bad.
sage you? Are you okay?
Oh no, I'm fine right now.
Oh, she's
but
fine now.
Back when I watched it, was not fine. I was not okay. Like
It was so good, but the problem is it was so good that it
Is it a documentary or a drama?
No, it was a
The
drama.
drama. Okay.
But what they did is they played out the exact timeline of events that took place from when Chernobyl first exploded to all of the aftermath. Into,
I know they
like,
just
the
like
stuff after.
abandoned a ton of people, right?
Yeah.
They
pretty
well,
Well,
like any government, they
were-
cover it up.
But
They were in
not on-
denial
Yeah,
about
but
the whole
not
thing,
only
too.
did they abandon a bunch of people, they also made people work until they died. They
And
were
then
like,
you would see like the way that they displayed the people in the episodes to show what radiation does to you, and like just the way that they used makeup to convey what it looks like. If it's even anything remotely close to that, like radiation poisoning, that looks like the most terrible way to die.
It is.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has to be.
But anyways, it's coming back to Ukraine, so hey, you guys.
Yeah, I was actually trained in nuclear decontamination in the military. So yeah, they showed us all those videos of like people like actual
skin
people
falling
yes,
off.
their skin falling off. And
They
stuff
look
that.
like if you stuck like you ever see like a gecko at night, they look translucent a little
Yeah.
bit. Imagine if a person's skin just kind of lost its tone and melanin,
And then it
was
started to fall off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
and
if
then it's just
you-
like blood and pus. It was so gross.
Yeah, if you ever watched what was it like the live action movie with Roger Rabbit? Remember?
Oh, the guy.
where
guy.
where the villain fell into the vat of acid looks just fucking like that.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's awful.
By the way, the timeshare comment was about Lauren talking about the middle position of the human centipede.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, I mean, honestly, they are the same thing.
Yeah.
I didn't
They
know
are
it was
the
up
same
for
thing.
rent.
Everything's got a price, baby.
Do we want to touch on anything else on this article?
No, I
think
think
that
we
sums
should.
it up.
I mean, that sums it
Well,
up. But
well, I was gonna say they call it the elephant's foot. The thing
Oh, yeah,
that's
the
in
elephant's
the
foot, yeah.
basement is called the elephant's foot because
So
they
if
only
there's
were
an
able to get.
explosion, it's gonna spread out again like it did after the first explosion.
That I don't know.
does the article mention how far it will spread when it
It
does?
says it says
They just
the
spent-
potential explosion wouldn't be anywhere near as devastating as the one that shattered the plant in 1986, which resulted in thousands of deaths and spewed a radioactive cloud over Europe.
Okay,
And
so
that's
it wouldn't be
actually
that
how
bad.
they found out that actually happened because Russia knew that Chernobyl exploded,
But they didn't tell anyone?
anybody. But there was radioactive sensors or radiation sensors in like
Poland, I think?
Poland,
Yeah.
and even in the United Kingdom that were going off, and they're like something's not right.
Something happened.
and that's how vast that explosion was. And when it went up into the atmosphere, it just spread around everywhere. But the thing is recently Russia just spent like $5 billion to put this dome
Yeah,
over
they put a
it.
big dome over it. Yeah.
But apparently that's only going to be good for like so many years because the radiation is actually going to eventually deplete the thing that protects
Oh, that
you
thing's
from
gonna
the
be
radiation.
that thing's gonna be spewing radiation long after we're gone.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's almost like it's a permanent problem and they're never going to find
Well,
a
the
solution.
half-life of that stuff is like millions of years.
Millions of years.
So
yeah.
it's going to be there forever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
As far as we're concerned.
As far as humans are concerned.
But I think the actual like the immediate disastrous effects of radiation from what I was reading, like the immediate things that can like immediately kill you. Obviously, if you were to come into contact with this stuff, eventually your cells would probably develop cancer. But from what I've read, it's like you have to be very close to it and around it for a while at this point. But if it were to reactivate and re-explode, I don't know if that's basically equivalent to the same thing again. I don't know. But let's go to Ukraine and check it out.
Yeah, I'm not going there.
Let's go on a trip.
Well, they say that like the nuclear pools where they cool the reactors. If you're swimming in like the first 5 feet of it, you don't actually.
Well, yeah. If you go into the water, the water actually is like a shield.
Yeah.
That's why they use water.
Unless you go down deep, because it's like 30 feet deep, I think, these pools. But if you're just swimming on the surface, you actually don't really get that much radiation.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and
But if you-
Fukushima is like flooding the ocean right
Yeah.
now with it. So, maybe that's why the sharks are living so long now
Yes.
because
They're Godzilla
they're
sharks.
radiated.
Immortal
Hugh
sharks.
picked this one out too. This one seems horrifying. You want to go? Or you want me to do it?
I feel like this is an article for a man to read.
Okay. Woman cries blood tears during menstruation in rare and unusual clinical case.
Okay, can I ask for the women in the room? When they say rare, what do they mean by rare?
They mean
How
like,
often do you
well,
menstruate through
here's-
your tear ducts?
160 degrees.
I always do. This is the problem with medical, science right now is to never ask women what's going on with their bodies.
That's why women can't be president.
Yeah,
Blood tears.
every 28
Menstruation
days,
tears.
just bleeding blood from my. No, I've
Did
never.
you like use a maxi pad to wipe your tears?
Yeah, I cut maxi pads up and I just put them under my eyes.
Blood tears, like the tears were blood.
Yeah.
A young woman's menstrual cycle
it's
brought
never
tears to
happened.
her eyes, but unlike most period-related tears, that's just
Fuck
a
this guy.
sexist comment right there.
Fuck this guy.
Hers were bright red tears of blood. When the
I didn't even-
25-year-old
There was
visited,
blood coming out of everywhere.
coming out of her, you know what?
I couldn't even fuck her
I
eyes,
feel
guys.
like this is like a pics or it didn't happen kind of situation.
Yeah, well, we got pics.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them.
When the 25-year-old visited an emergency room with bloody tears oozing from both eyes, it was her second such episode in the past 2 months. Doctors recently reported blood tears are a rare condition known as Haemolacria, which can have
Smackle, can
different
we get a
causes.
pronunciation on that, please?
Yeah, well, he's in the chat.
Hemolacria.
It's just
I think it's hemolacria.
Hemolacria. In this woman's case, her eyes were otherwise normal, and she wasn't ill or injured. However, both instances of bloody tears coincided with the onset of her period, the physicians wrote in the case report. Normal menstruation can sometimes trigger cyclical bleeding outside the uterus, known as a viscerous menstruation. The woman's crimson teardrops likely represented a highly unusual convergence of two conditions: vicarious menstruation and hemolacria. This is too medical for me. So yeah, you can see. Are you showing him the pictures, David? She's got blood tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it menstruation though, or is it just blood? Because you can smell the difference. You know, there's a definite smell.
Well, did they do a pap
Definite
smear
odor.
to check?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I mean, my guess would be like, like the body is being like, God damn it. Why are we doing this? This is the stupidest.
Because it's mysterious.
I mean,
Hugh picked it.
Women's bodies are so
This
mysterious.
looks like it's from India, and I'm sorry, but India is known for all these weird medical claims and weird things of science, so who knows?
What do you got against India's medical system?
No, it's not just medical, but they're always like, oh, this person lived 150 years.
Plus, you can never tell in India if the person that you're seeing is a doctor or a Bollywood actor. It's impossible to tell.
I think they go to school and you end up coming out with a degree in both.
All I can really say about the bloody tears is that I'm really fucking jealous. Like, if that's an option for periods and that doesn't happen to me, I'm fucking mad. Do you know
Okay.
how cool it would be if, like,
I feel like people would just stop talking to you.
Yes! Stop talking to me.
All right.
Like, I'm feeling sensitive and, like, I want to be left the fuck alone, and then you start,
It's a good indication
No,
to be
not
like,
even,
leave this chick
Not
alone.
even that approach. Get the fuck out of my face. I want to go be by myself. I do not want to hear about your weird stuff, and then I'm crying tears,
Oh, yeah.
and then you just back off.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Yes.
anyway.
Or-
I don't need the tears to back.
You could just say that and cry regular tears.
No, but sometimes you need a little extra gusto. I need bloody tears.
All right, moving
I
on
want bloody
to
tears.
UFO news. The U.S. finds no evidence of alien technology in flying objects, but can't rule it out either.
So before you start this article,
Okay.
if you go to the Google Doc, look at the tweet that I put in there from that guy. I think he summarizes this perfectly.
The UFO incidents studied by the Pentagon were from the past 20 years. For this to be Russian or Chinese tech would mean Russia or China were able to rewrite the laws of physics for 2 decades without the U.S. intel community knowing. That's impossible. Well, that's what I've been telling everyone, is that this is either the biggest intelligence failure in the history of the United States of America, or it's aliens or something
Or
else
we
that
really
can't
just are
understand.
not as capable as we proclaim to be, and we're actually North Korea, and we've been propagandized
Yeah, we've
our
been
entire
North
life.
Actually,
Korea this
America
whole
is
time.
way behind the tech game.
You think so? As
Oh,
far
yeah.
as war stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I know our nuclear arsenal still run on floppy disks.
Yeah,
That's true.
and the problem with the CIA and the FBI is they have such stringent marijuana. Like, you can never have used drugs ever, so they can't hire. There's no hackers out there that they
so
can
you're
actually
ruling
hire
out anybody.
ever. That's ever hacked something, because it's like 99% of them.
Anybody good at
So
computers.
how
is
many
like-
times have you applied, David?
At least
Because
6.
you sound a little
He
pissed
sounds a
off
little
about
pissed,
this.
yeah.
Zero. No, I just think it's a stupid rule.
It
It's
is a dumb
ridiculous.
rule. But the thing with this is, like, I don't know. We are pretty technologically advanced in this country, at least in compared to most countries. Maybe not China or Russia. Although I don't know, Russia.
Russia doesn't have the means, or they may
Yeah.
have the minds to create stuff, but they don't have the financial resources to produce it to the degree that we
Putin
do.
has it all in his pocket.
But they pay their hackers in cocaine, so there's the difference.
See, that's the ticket.
Yeah.
So if this is
Makes them go longer,
If
too.
UFOs are from, so UFOs would essentially have to be either Chinese or extraterrestrial, right?
I guess. I mean,
but if it was the Chinese, wouldn't they have just already taken us over?
I just don't. From what I know, when it comes to Chinese people and driving, I just don't think they have the skills, from what I'm seeing in this footage,
my
to
God.
manipulate machines to those capabilities, because they can't drive.
Tony Hinchcliffe on Mysteriousnesses, everyone.
Shellie,
American intelligence officials.
What
have-
are your thoughts?
Oh.
Is it the Chinese, the Russians, or is it aliens?
I think it's the Jews.
Oh God.
They do have space lasers.
Yeah.
They do run everything. But she's actually Jewish, so
Yeah,
she would
Shellie-
know.
She could say that.
Please don't cancel me. I'm Jewish.
Yeah, Shellie is our
If you
chosen
cancel
member
her,
of the
it's
podcast.
anti-Semitism.
Out of like fucking 30 minutes of silence, just like
It's the Jews.
that's the best.
The report determines that a vast majority, or more than 120 incidents over the past 2 decades, did not originate from any American military or other advanced U.S. government technology. The determination would appear to eliminate the possibility that Navy pilots who reported seeing unexplained aircraft might have encountered programs that the government meant to keep secret. So that was kind of always the skeptics' approach for like the past 30, 40 years, right? Was that it's like, oh, they're testing new technology and they don't want us to know about it. You know, it was most UFO sightings. It was the stealth bomber. You know, it was the stealth fighter. You know, one of those.
Those are, I mean, they do resemble what you would think is a
Right.
alien spaceship, or especially like the what is it, the B-2?
Yeah.
It's just like
Oh,
a wing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
You ever
thing.
seen one of those fly over you
Yeah.
in real person?
Yeah.
No.
It is.
They're very silent too.
and it's kind of like it's so foreign. It just it jars you a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
But these are Navy pilots checking these things out. Navy pilots know what those things are, and they're like basically what they're seeing.
Isn't it possible though that, just to play devil's advocate, isn't it possible that there is a classified project that only certain people know about? Or
Right. But I mean, it could be. But this is saying that there's not. This is the intelligence.
But that's what I'm
report.
saying. Wouldn't they just hide it from those intelligence reports?
Could be. Could be.
I mean, think of how many things they do that they've never told us about.
My biggest qualm with this is even if aliens are real and even if all of this stuff is extraterrestrial and even if the government came out and said, yes, this is aliens, the problem is they would not a lot of people trust the government already, but any
Right.
credibility about anything
It's
would
all
just
gone.
go right out the window. And that would include the very little bit that the government currently has at the moment. Because we've been told constantly over and over and over again there's no such thing, or they would not make a comment.
It's
or
a weather
NASA,
balloon.
NASA doesn't know anything about this. And then for them to just come out all of a sudden and say, oh, by the way, yeah, these are aliens, are bad. Then it's just like, all right,
Yeah.
what's up with that? So I don't know. We live
Well,
in like
I mean,
an
that's
age of
that's the Stephen Greer theory, is that the aliens are all good guys and they are in contact with the government, but now the government is setting us up to go into a pretend war with
that's
aliens.
the new QAnon thing is they're saying that they're creating a fake alien invasion.
Oh.
So they can control
I
us.
didn't know that.
I once made a Facebook status that was like, if the government told us that aliens were real, would you believe them? And if the government told us that aliens were evil, would you believe them? And it sparked a very interesting debate. Of
Well, because
which
nobody
I cannot
believes
remember.
shit from the government.
So
Yeah.
would you believe them, Shellie?
Would I believe? I mean, I think aliens. Why wouldn't they be real?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe in extraterrestrials visiting Earth, but I'm not one of those people that thinks that they're all good guys.
Yeah,
you know?
like Shelly,
Oh,
what
yeah,
do you
yeah.
think about that second question? Is like, if the government told you they were good or evil, like, how would you feel about that?
I would say some of them would probably be good, and some of them would probably be evil. I mean, there's duality in everything.
Yeah, just like every
you know?
living thing, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that too. Like, cause I always think it's weird because you hear a lot of people who believe in aliens. Like, it really is like that black or white with like people who are into aliens. It's like, oh no, they're all coming here to abduct us and steal our genitalia and like make like weird alien human hybrids. So you've got that side of the spectrum, and then you've got the other side of the spectrum. Usually the ones that like are obsessed, like the Nordic aliens, where they're like, no. They are here to provide peace to the universe, and they will only come when we are at a high enough level.
They're here
Oh,
to
have you guys
inseminate us.
ever heard of the people who channel aliens?
Oh, I love that.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, there's this book.
That lady on What the Bleep. You ever see that movie?
Yeah, actually.
The
I
lady
have.
that channels that alien being the whole time.
Yes. Yeah. I forgot the name of it, but there's this book that all my friends have been reading. It's called. Get back to me on this one, but.
Oh, is it the Corey Good? By Corey Good? The one?
Hold on. Yeah, the Law One.
Law One.
Yep.
Oh, the Law of One. Okay, I gotta read that.
Yeah, I was trying to listen to it on audio, but it got a little weird. I was on the airplane. I felt a little.
Oh yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it's weird to listen
did
to
you
that
feel
on
like picking
pipe.
up a pen and start like something's channeling through you all of a sudden?
Like auto writing, her eyes are rolling in the back of her head. They're having an exorcism in the back of the cabin.
Mysteriousnesses book club. If you can get a hold of Law of One, let's
For
all-
any of our listeners that actually read,
Yeah.
or know how to read.
In Contact, the Carl Sagan book / movie,
with America's Treasure, Jodie Foster.
yes, they have that quote in there, which kind of sums up this whole thing. It's like, why would they come here to attack us? It'd be like going millions and millions of miles away just to step on an anthill. And then someone else said, yeah, but would you feel bad if you did step on
If you
that
did,
anthill?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's that dichotomy of like...
So you're going
way
too
but
far
also
with
they
it.
probably have different moral compasses, like things to them that don't seem evil feel evil to us, because it's like we're humans, so we will eat meat and we don't really see that as evil. But if
if you asked a cow, hey, where'd my
like,
brother go?
And it could be like a cybernetic, AI.
Oh my God, the board.
alien. And what would they care about killing us?
Right.
Well, I know they hate cows because I've heard about cattle mutilation, so we
yeah.
know they're not vegan.
Yeah, the
they're
aliens
fine.
aren't vegan.
Have you guys ever heard
That's a great shirt, by the way.
the theory that like alien is kind of like technology? Hold on, I might be getting a little too weird, and I also might be talking about something that I
You
don't
will
know enough about.
never. Hold on, Shelly. You will never be too weird for this podcast. You just spread your
That's true.
wings. Do what you gotta do.
Shine bright like a diamond,
Yeah.
Rihanna.
So what about aliens being technology?
That aliens are like AI, AI and alien and the connection.
Oh, that
and
is there's
Okay.
there's
passing
a
the
theory.
mic to somebody who knows more than me.
There's a theory in the Great Awakening that there's a super intelligent AI that has taken over other sentient alien species, and that's why they're acting maliciously towards us.
Yeah,
was
and
that
that
just
AI
quoting,
is just so inept that it has not been able to take over our magnificent minds.
So let's see. Here's a quote from Obama. What is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there is footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
I told Michelle, put together a menu of healthy choices for when they come to visit. I think they would like some carrot sticks, some celery, and peanut butter.
Let's see. What is
Could you
this one?
imagine like them coming? I always like to phrase this question. This should be the question we ask anybody that comes on the show.
Yeah.
Shelly, if aliens came today and they said we want to speak to the superior race, who should they choose?
Oh God, no.
That is not meant to be answered. That was just a joke. But we all know who it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see.
We'll leave it at that.
I'm gonna jump on to another article here. Let's see. Harvard professor, space garbage is proof of alien civilization. It's logical. If there's trash, someone must be out there littering. What is with all the aliens lately? Towards the end of last year, we brought you the story of strange monoliths that keep appearing and disappearing around the world.
Yeah, that kind of just stopped.
Yeah, that did just kind of stop.
Yeah, people just got bored.
Yeah, because
That was
quarantine's
people.
over.
Yeah, that was people.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that one.
You're talking
Also,
about-
the Israeli defense chiefs claim that aliens exist, but they're just media shy. Let's see. More specifically, in our article, the first monolith found in a Utah desert, we said the following. If there were extraterrestrial visitors to Earth, you'd think they leave behind otherworldly sandwich wrappers or something. Clearly, our writers are blessed with a gift of foresight. Apparently, they have now found the alien garbage we're asking for.
Yeah, her
Avi
name
Loeb-
is Grimes.
There you go.
Oh, man. Avi Loeb, chairman of Harvard University's Department of Astronomy, agrees. He says that when we find the first sign of extraterrestrial life, it will be a piece of their trash. He goes on to say that such a piece may have just drifted in our solar system. He believes the object is not just a hunk of rock, but some kind of alien technology.
Oh, is that the Mau?
That's the Mau Mau. Now, do you guys
What's
remember?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
that
do you guys
thing
remember that
came
thing?
in.
It was this giant thing. It was about half the size of Texas or something like that.
In length, but not in width.
Not in width. So it was like a big, long, giant tube. Came
So
barreling-
John flying through space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it came barreling through our solar system, not from within our solar system. It came
It
from
was interstellar. Yeah.
It was an interstellar object. It came from outside of our solar system somewhere, which is the first recorded incident
Yep.
of that ever happening. of something
that we've detected.
That we've detected. I mean, it might happen all the time. We just don't know. It came barreling through, and there's a lot of scientists that believe that it's not necessarily an alien ship, but it's like a remnant of a lost alien civilization.
Huh.
Like
Okay.
probably an extinct alien
Yeah.
civilization.
Well, someone thinks it's like a light sail. Maybe that was damaged or something.
Yeah, that's one of the theories. Is there's some kind of light sail. It looked like a big rock to us, but the shape and the way that it was moving was very strange.
And it's too small of an object and too far away for us to really know.
But didn't they have to do something to try to get it like on tape or on to get like images of it? They had to take all of the satellite power on the planet.
Yeah,
and
then
reposition everything.
But it's
to try
still
to
it's
get
still
it.
too far away, too small. I don't think they actually had an actual photo of it. It's just all artists.
If they had a satellite out there, maybe they could have gotten one.
Maybe, but it was still really far away. Even
Well,
as
and it was
close as
also
got.
going really fast. So
Really,
it was kind of in and out of our solar system, like faster than we could even get to it. Like most things that are traveling in our solar system, we could like actually send something to check it out because it would be there.
Well, the
for a
thing
long
is,
time.
in order to escape any star's gravity, you have to be going really, really fast.
Yeah, and the gravity from our solar system didn't seem to affect it at all.
Yeah.
So it was in and out really fast.
I'll tell you what, the gravity from that gummy on Friday night I had really had an effect on me.
Same though. Same.
Shelly, what is your opinion on Uamau?
Uamau.
Have you heard of this thing? It sounds pretty creepy,
Yeah,
right?
alien garbage.
Yeah,
I follow.
I
Okay.
follow.
Do you
I
think
wonder what kind
aliens-
of fast food restaurants are available in outer space.
And
do they litter as much as we do?
Pizza Planet?
Probably.
Pizza Planet.
I mean, I think somebody made there was like an artist rendering that I saw that they drew like the Earth, and then also they added like every piece of known space
It's a
junk
lot. It's a lot.
around the Earth, and it's just our entire orbit is completely covered in garbage.
That makes
Like
sense.
everything.
That checks.
But-
That tracks for us.
That is true, but space is so big. That's what people don't realize.
Right,
is
it's not a problem.
It's not a problem. They don't even really account for it when they're
Yeah,
doing
it's just
stuff.
like littering in the forest. It's like it's not that big of a deal, you know?
Well,
You
that's
know?
a little different. That's a little different.
Let's see. Moving on again. Let's go.
I'm still thinking about that human centipede thing. But
Okay, yeah,
I'm
that's
always there, baby.
Like, you turned on a little bit, or what's going
I
on?
don't know how. I don't know. Maybe.
He just feels open.
Yeah.
What is that snake that eats itself? That's
Ouroboros?
Ouroboros. That they need a human Ouroboros, and then
So,
everyone
wait.
gets a little bit of something.
I'm gonna autofellatio my.
It just means,
human
hey,
centipede.
buddy, go eat your own ass.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to cryptozoology. Bigfoot woman reports Sasquatch encounter outside of a gym in Ashland.
So, do you
Nice.
believe in Bigfoot, Shelly? What are your? Do you have strongly held opinions about cryptids in
That's
general?
what I should ask
don't
everyone.
know what Bigfoot is. Like, I think I've purposely avoided figuring out what it is for the 30 years of my life. Like, I don't know. Anytime it's come on, like a conspiracy theory radio show or something, I just change the channel.
You have
I
a
don't know.
subscription to Gaia, so I can't.
Not
believe-
anymore. Not anymore. They canceled it. The person that I was bumming the subscription off of canceled it, and I no longer have their password. So if somebody
just-
wants to give me their password,
I just find it hard to
I'd
believe that you
appreciate
had access to that and did not come across anything
well, she's avoiding it.
pertaining to
avoiding it.
Bigfoot.
We got to school her on Sasquatch.
And also, I love that you're trying to sell me on a subscription that you weren't even paying for yourself. That's how much
Like,
you
it's
believe.
great. It's
That's
great.
how much she believes in Gaia. She's like, you really need to watch some of this stuff on here. It's great. But you're not even paying for it.
I've thought about subscribing to Gaia. It seems like some good stuff, but I don't
it's
know.
really cool stuff.
Let's see. So I don't know. I think Bigfoot. My personal theory about Bigfoot is, well, I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on like him not existing at all, or it just being like some sort of like ancient, like person that has like a type of people that have been
Just
hiding
like
in the
a
woods.
really big person.
Yeah, it's just like he's like us, but he's just a big dude. Yeah.
Is there one of them or is there multiple?
No, it's gonna be like a whole population.
Well, this guy's trying to go to the gym.
Yeah. Well, this Bigfoot's
Yeah.
trying to
There's
get
no
swole.
gyms out in the middle of the forest.
That's true.
There could be if you just uproot a tree.
Yeah. That's
Oh
true.
my God.
Just bench press
That
a tree.
guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
This guy.
He
Oh,
is-
he's the
he
money
is
maker.
like the Pope of
The Pope
Bigfoot
of Bigfoot, yeah.
hunting because you can. Have you ever
He's
seen
still
that?
never found
His
it.
last
Have
name
you
is
ever-
Moneymaker?
Yes. Oh my God. The whole thing is just the whole package of him is ridiculous. If you ever watch the Finding Bigfoot show, which not because we really are trying.
Terrible name for this show. Yeah,
They-
they never.
they
find
never
it.
found
Looking
it.
for Bigfoot.
Yeah, it should be looking for Bigfoot.
It should be called Some Guys in the Woods Screaming at Nothing. But this guy here, Mr. Moneymaker, every little thing that happens in the show, it's always Bigfoot related. So if
There's a Snickers wrapper on the ground. Like
That's a
Bigfoot
Bigfoot.
loves Snickers.
No, they would do that. And
They would say that.
But the best thing about the show, aside from him, so he's like the true believer. Like you cannot convince him that everything that they're doing is Bigfoot's just constantly outsmarting him. The other character on the show, who is not in this picture, is Bobo.
Oh
You
yeah,
guys seen
Bobo's the
Bobo?
dumb guy. Yeah.
Bobo.
They had him. They featured him on South Park, I believe.
Is this the show where the guy was out in the woods? It was night vision. Do you remember this, John?
Maybe.
And they had the little microphone, and the guy looked to the left for a second, and he's like, "Oh, you missed it. There was the Bigfoot right there. You didn't turn around. What was that?"
There was also the Peter Pan looking lesbian on there. She's very like
maybe I don't know. I don't remember what show this was.
I think I think that was something.
Or was
else.
that All Gas No Brakes?
I think that that was
That
All
is a
Gas No Brakes.
completely different.
Yeah, that's
Whoa.
completely different. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
All Gas No Brakes went along with a Bigfoot show.
Yeah.
It's actually
that's
pretty
the
good.
life I want to live. I want to be the all gas no brakes guy and just go around and just visit.
And it's
the
like, oh
most
yeah, you just missed it. We
obscure
saw
shit.
it. And
Yeah.
he's like, just now when I turned my back, you saw Bigfoot. And they're like,
Yeah,
yes.
I love it. Well, Bobo. The thing about Bobo is he was in a constant,
DJ Bobo from the 90s?
Maybe that's
Okay.
He lost his claim to fame and is now Bigfoot hunting in the woods.
Oh.
He's in a constant stupor from heavy drug use. And
That tracks.
yeah, so you got him.
He's like one of the people that were on the Tiger King show.
Yes, actually, yes. He's the Bigfoot king.
Yeah.
and he's got long, stringy hair, and then they have this dog. This poor fucking thing's probably got to be like 1,800 years old. It's on its last leg. They're bringing this dog up mountains trying to find Bigfoot, and its hips it's got like the dysplasia. It looks emaciated, and like
God.
Bobo's having it go run after stuff. They're leaving Snickers out on logs and then they would sing to him. I'm telling you, the entertainment value of that
show's
show
good. That show's good.
is so good, and nobody.
Don't expect
it's
to see
gone.
Bigfoot.
No, but Bobo is like shaped and also looks like Bigfoot himself.
Yeah.
So there could
Well,
be some.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they always make him walk out in the distance where the witness saw it, and they're like, "Let's see how big Bobo
They
is
do
compared to
not.
what." Yeah,
They
they
do
make
not.
him walk out. They make him walk out and be like, "Was it bigger than Bobo, or was
Yes.
it not bigger than Bobo?"
They used him as the scale. So we've got to find like a 5-second clip of him saying something ridiculous for the podcast. There has to be something.
We could probably get him on. What's that celebrity thing? Cameo.
Yeah.
Cameo. We could probably get him in studio. All we have to do is like give him some Percocet or something.
Yeah, can
So-
we fit him in studio?
Anyway, let's check out this Bigfoot encounter. A 20-year-old woman, she walked out of a 24-hour gym around midnight. This is in Ashland, I believe, North Carolina. She turned to the right and headed to her car in the well-lit parking lot. There were no other vehicles in the lot on that side of the building, and she was reportedly not alone on the cool, clear spring night on April 24th. The woman heard a twig snap. She looked and saw a creature 7 or 8 feet tall and covered in gray fur racing back into the woods about 30 yards away. It was far too large, likely several hundred pounds, and moved too quickly to be a man, she believed. Shaken and in tears, she called her parents from a nearby restaurant, asking them to come and drive her home. So she was scared enough that she had to get her parents to drive her home.
Wuss.
Yeah. You probably, if you saw Bigfoot, you'd call me. You'd be like, "John, please come get me."
No, I wouldn't because then I'd be one of those people.
I'd be upset.
Please don't tell anyone.
I'd just be upset you weren't there to see it with me because
Yeah.
I know you're so into Bigfoot.
I'd like to see it.
Every present I get for John is usually Bigfoot themed.
That is true. Well, last time Brad went to Georgia, he brought me back Bigfoot stuff. I don't know if he brought me stuff that... I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up with more Bigfoot bullshit tomorrow. She likely encountered a Sasquatch, according to nationally acclaimed Bigfoot investigator Matt
that's
Moneymaker.
Wait.
the same as Bigfoot? Or
Yes.
is it different?
Sasquatch, skunk ape, yeti, all of them are words for the same creature, most likely.
Usually, it just depends on where they are. Like it's kind of like culturally they call them this and
Sasquatch is a name that comes from a Native American tribe. That's what they called it, and that kind of somehow made its jump into pop culture. I'm not sure exactly how. But apparently most Native American tribes had a name for this type of like wild man. Okay. So let's see. Moneymaker, he founded the Bigfoot Research Organization in 1995. Unfortunately for Moneymaker, some of the woman's friends and coworkers learned of her experience through the website and made light of her claim. She and her father asked her to name be removed from the website report, a request with which Moneymaker complied. She isn't backing off what she claims she saw. She stands by what she saw, and so do her parents, he said. She's a young woman and doesn't want people who may be ignorant making fun of her. So I guess Chris Moneymaker always talks about green flags in a story. So like a lot of times we talk about like, hey, this person told me the story and there was a lot of red flags in the story. So green flags are something that like seem to back up the claim of Bigfoot. So he went and investigated the area, and he claims that it's far enough away from other things, and there was also plenty of deer tracks around the building, and it was close enough to the forest that he thinks maybe a Bigfoot could have come out of the forest to kill deer.
That's the thing with this guy. All roads lead back to
all green flags.
It's a Bigfoot. There's nothing else it could be. Literally,
nothing else.
You gotta watch the show.
I don't know, man. I believe if people see a big ass fucking hairy thing hauling ass into the woods, I'm gonna believe it's Bigfoot. You know, like what else could that be?
Why do you say Bigfoot like it's a singular? But now I'm being led to believe that there's
it's
multiple.
But
so
I think
big
it's just.
feet.
You think I should be saying big feet? I don't know. That's
is
just
the tribe
Bigfoots.
of Big Feet called Big Feet, or is it Bigfoots?
Well, so there's like a lot of different thoughts about
what is the
Bigfoot
collective noun?
because there
Sasquatch.
could be like Sasquatch. There could be like a family of them. Like there's been a couple like especially like Native American stories about like families of Sasquatch or Bigfoot. But usually it's like a singular small family, like not like a giant like group of them or anything like that. And then there's also the other thought of like Sasquatch or Bigfoot being a multidimensional being that's like existing in another plane of existence, and that the holes. Wow, I'm fucking nuts. Okay, so like there are like
so like
holes,
a glitch in the Matrix.
Exactly. So like we're finding them in the glitch. So like there isn't really a whole group of Bigfoot or Sasquatch. It's really just one jumping through the hole. Maybe not the same one every time, but like there's not like a huge group of them somewhere in the woods. It's just this like glitching.
My new favorite
creature.
word is Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
Because it sounds so pretentious, and that is my kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I told you I don't have a lot of value to add, but I just make up really cool words.
I do love that.
I'm not going Bigfoot hunting. We're going out to the pasture this evening to hunt the Sasquatch.
I do love
All right,
that.
so the Loveland Frogman. This is a Lauren's
should
pick.
read
Yes,
this.
I can't
need
see
to
that
pull
from
it
here.
up on the phone so you can read it, because this thing is hilarious.
What
It is
is
my
the Loveland
favorite.
Frogman?
It
Imagine
is
Kermit got a
craziness.
taste for bath salts and simply decided to go all deliverance on his porky paramour.
This is my contribution, and no one is shocked by it.
Full banjo crescendo, Miss Piggy running around as if she had just seen the devil. Gonzo with one of those fancy bow and arrows. Fonzie dead on the ground, his body ripped to grisly grit while animals feast on his entrails. Oh, the humanity. Beaker flipping a chainsaw in the air, dancing in a rainbow shower of blood. My editor just knocked on the door and told me I'm mixing my metaphorical movie boxing and to quote, off the tangent, man. Anyway, back to the program.
What are you guys' sources for these articles? Tampa News Force?
This is
or-
the Charles. This is Charleston
excuse me.
Terrors. Okay.
This
All right.
is
Yeah, this is a
valid.
legit publication.
This is peer
Yeah.
reviewed.
This is on the internet, so
You may have heard of it.
Yeah, it's here. It's now. Anyways,
Shout out to Tampa News Force.
yeah, shout out.
We love you guys.
The Loveland frog, or the Latin name for it, which it has, Rana sacraceus, Serictus, also known as the Loveland frogman or the Loveland lizard, is a rather novel Ohio folklore icon.
A rather novel.
It's an icon. Just
novel.
saying, icon. Truly doubt Dylan is making a song about it, or him or her. It's a legendary humanoid toad or frog that prowls in the romantic and oftentimes melancholic nights of Loveland, Ohio. The creature supposedly stands upright at 4 feet, so tall enough with heels on.
Tall enough for Lauren to date.
To some old timers, bathtub moonshine was involved in this, like, people seeing
Set
it.
and setting.
Yeah, that's set and setting. Yeah.
So people are drinking themselves real dumb.
Yeah. The University of Cincinnati folklore professor Edgar Slotkin, what a name, compared the Loveland frog to Paul Bunyan, the creature gaining certain notoriety as a folk legend in the same vein as Paul, Old Stormalong, and the Chupacabra. Slotkin studied the phenomenon and even graphed the sightings. He noted that the stories have not only been passed down through generations, but most reports of the Loveland frogmen come in predictable cycles. Well, there's a great picture of a frog in this article that, like, I can't really describe it to you, but I just want you to know it.
It's on the screen.
Yeah, they can see it.
Okay.
I feel like the frog shouldn't be wearing a monocle.
Does that not feel valid? It feels valid.
It's like a...
The legend of the Loveland frogmen can be traced back to the post-war era to the rocking 50s. Who the fuck wrote this?
Yeah, he's talking about Bob Dylan. I
rocking
doubt Bob
50s?
Dylan's writing music about this. It's like, I doubt Bob Dylan's writing music at all.
This is just a guy in his 60s that has to put Dylan in the rocking 50s into everything. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna skip all of the.
Yeah, you
like-
can paraphrase.
Yeah, I'm gonna paraphrase because there's a lot of, like, back in the rocking 50s, and then sometime after people did drugs. This isn't, like, whatever. So this is like an account of someone seeing the frogman, a businessman or a traveling salesman or a Bible seller, because we don't know who the fuck saw this thing.
Well, that's the
That's
only
a
traveling
long
salesman back
range.
then is Bible salesman.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I get it. A businessman, a traveling salesman, a Bible seller. I get it. Is driving all by his lonesome self along a dark, unmanned road. Here, the story starts to diverge. 3 distinct retellings. In one story, the motorist is heading out of the Branch Hill neighborhood when he shines his car's headlights on the huge figures. The trio erected, good lord, on their hind legs and just standing in the middle of the road. The man honks his horn, the figures perk up, they twist their necks around, a gasp. All 3 look at the driver with leathery skin and frog faces. Now, to be fair, I've seen the same thing in Pasco County. Leathery skin and frog faces.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
I know that's fucking Diane.
Yeah, this
Diane, Carol, and Meredith.
this
I've
monster
seen
was in
them
the
all.
front row of my show the other night.
Yeah, exactly.
They like comedy.
Yeah, they do.
I have to say, the weirdest thing about this article is it's terrible grammar.
I hate that. It's like
it's
tripping
hard
me
to
up.
read. It's hard to read.
Yeah, it's
take it
tripping-
down off the screen.
Maybe it's an autobiography,
Yeah,
and
it's-
the Loveland frog was just never educated.
Yeah, it's tripping me up pretty bad.
Where are the green flags?
there's no green flags in
There
there.
are no, just green frogs. No
the
green.
frog is the green flag.
So the second version goes: the motorist
We have to hear
spots the
more?
creatures. Yes, there are 3. The motorist spots the creatures under the Loveland Bridge, one of the many going over the Little Miami River. He honks his horn. He says hongs here. The creatures shoot out from under the bridge. One lands on his hood and croaks. The driver passes out. And then in version number 3, same bridge, same time.
Same time.
Yeah. A motorist pulls over. He gets out of his car and spots the creatures. All 3 are conversing animatedly. So these bitches talking.
So they're like hopping
There's
around.
some hot
Ribbit.
gossip going on in Frogtown. Yeah.
Wise.
Yeah. Oh, fuck you. So, like a real white asshole, the driver calls out to them. One of the Loveland frogmen gets up, points his finger at his friend in the universal gesture of put a pin in it, which, what is, oh.
Yeah, I can't take any more of this story.
Oh, the frog flips him off, bro. Okay.
Yeah, I can't take any more of this story.
Don't
It's
you
too
want to know
much.
how this
No, I don't. I don't really.
No,
know.
this is. I need to know.
Yeah, you want to know how this
Did
is.
he put the pin in it?
He did not. And so the frogs look at the other frogs. They're like, yo, bro, can't you see we're having a conversation amongst us frogs? And then he holds out a wand. Oh,
A wand.
I can't
It's a fairy god frog.
Somebody actually took time to write this.
Actually, in the article, it says, inflicts the Harry Potter approved apparatus. Good job on the alliteration, asshole. In a blazing fire of sparks, cannons out of the wand, the motorist flees the scene.
This is why we only let Lauren pick one story an episode.
And that's all that we need to know, really.
Oh my
But-
God.
All right, so
Yeah.
we're going to Loveland,
I'm going to Loveland.
and I'm finding this fucking frog.
And I want to hear the hot gossip.
Oh, this damn phone is making everything buzz.
Bill Gates and his 5G is messing with our microphones.
Yes, I got 6G.
All right,
And the vaccine.
We're going to take a quick break right here in about the middle of the show. We're going to come back and we're going to do some paranormal news. We got a glitch in the Matrix and some carnivorous pink mist. Then after that, we're going to
Not
check
me.
out our feature segment, which is Project Looking Glass. Remember, we always want you guys to follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, and check out our link tree, which is linktree/mysteriousnesses, spelled exactly how it sounds.
And also, Shellie is going to knock over the bookcase.
Yeah, don't knock over the bookcase. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break. Please, we're going to play an ad. Please check it out. Don't leave. We will be back. We got plenty more show. See you in a minute. All right, we are back.
We're back. We peed. I visited the poop closet.
Poop closet.
I told John for Halloween we really need to just fill that poop closet with crosses so we can reenact the Carrie scene from where she goes and gets stuck in there and has
You
to pray.
gave me a really good snack during break, in case anybody cares. It was a hazelnut bar.
Got good snacks.
He is a really good snack.
That's the conspiracy, is that there are some things that are gluten-free that taste good.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, it was like dates or something.
All right, we're back. Are we still recording? Yes, we are. Okay.
Shelly, could you close the door all the way, please?
Let's close that door all the way, and let's get into some UFO news.
Oh.
I do need my phone.
Or, sorry, paranormal news. Oh, you got to go get your phone?
I wanted to get it so when we get into the feature segment.
Hold on, let me grab
Actually,
it. I will go grab it.
Lauren
because
is
there's
going
less
to-
moving.
Compelling
This is great.
content.
How are you going to get out of here, Lauren? I don't even know.
Well,
This is-
that's why this is compelling.
This is
Actually,
this is
probably
great.
would have been easiest for Shelly to do it, but all right.
It's too late now.
Everybody watch Lauren leave, interrupt
Lauren-
the podcast
Lauren-
because I am bad at
Lauren
remembering
always
things.
leaving Lance.
All right.
We're into paranormal news. What happened that night? This is actually a post from a user called Biohazard in Reddit. He says, "Hi, people. As the title suggests, I'm here to tell you an unexplained phenomenon that happened recently. First things first, I apologize early for the bad English. I hope everything is clear. Maybe you will not take this seriously and not believe me, blah, blah, blah." All right, so this
At
is...
least he knows.
So this happened in Italy. It started as a usual weekend. I was at a friend's home with other friends drinking something, chatting, and playing games. When it's summer, sometimes we decide to go outside for a walk. It was night around 11:30 p.m., cloudy, but you could still easily see where you're going. We live in a countryside place, but not too much far away from the nearest city. I don't care. It's the typical Tuscany landscape. Now he's just bragging. Anyway.
Has nothing to do about anything paranormal. He
Yes,
just likes to
I live in
brag.
Tuscany, so...
Yeah. There's like multiple subreddits that he goes and shares the same post.
So they usually take the dirt road that's in front of the house. And as we walk down the road, a friend, let's call him M, goes a bit further than us, and another friend that was with him comes back to us saying that he lost him in a matter of seconds. How? From this point, things get creepy. We started searching with torches. Maybe he fell down one of the sides. We call out, but nothing. We arrived at the end of the road, still nothing. He's vanished. The road is around 200 meters straight. It's plain with a dead end. How can someone disappear if you have nothing in front of you? Fine, maybe he came back to the house. We thought so. Half of the group backtracked to the home to check, while me and another two friends remained at the dead end. Later, we get messages that he's not at home, so we started coming back, and we have nearly arrived. M reappears from the road, running towards us. At first, he thought that we made up some kind of bad joke on him, but no. He then explained what happened in his point of view. As we all saw, M was just walking off by himself a bit further than us. When he reached the dead end, he realized that we weren't there behind him anymore. There was no lights, no voices, nothing. From his point of view, we were the ones that vanished. So he too backtracked to the house, but there was nothing there. So he came back down to the dead end, doing the same thing, just going up and down the road from the start to the end. He did it 3 fucking times and nothing. We live in this place. We would know where we are with our eyes closed, and there are no roads similar to that nearby, so it's literally impossible to miss each other on a straight plain road. So now, how all of this happened? I'm trying to make this sound more like English as I'm reading it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
let's see. We all thought about it, searching for some kind of explanation of what we have witnessed. How can you explain this? The night haunts us for days, and I didn't post much on the internet, but now I need an answer. So if you have some ideas, question, or maybe had experiences similar to this one, I'm always available. Thanks for reading. So basically what happened is this guy walks off ahead of them, and they don't see him anymore. They have no idea where he is. They search up and down the road for him. They check back at the house. He's not there. So they start walking back from the dead-end road, and they see him walking or running towards them in a panic because he's gone back and forth 3 times and hasn't seen any of them. So what has happened here? Did he get sucked into a different dimension? Is it a glitch in the Matrix? What could possibly explain this? It's just a single dirt road.
This is not something difficult. I mean,
what is it?
Couldn't there be like trees and stuff, and the guy got off the path? And
He said it was plain. He said it was a plain dirt road. There's nothing really off the path.
Straight, just back and forth.
Was this at nighttime?
This is at night. But the guy claims that he was on the path.
They couldn't hear each other yelling either.
Right, he couldn't hear each other yelling. So I don't know.
If that
Marco,
that would make sense, right? Actually, no, that was Spanish. Marco
Yeah.
Polo.
Sorry,
my bad.
No, Marco Pollo was Italian. Yeah.
Pollo.
Marco Pollo. Yeah. Famous explorer.
Yeah, I don't know. Plot twist. Maybe it was in Tennessee, and they were all on a little meth.
Nope, it's Italy. They don't do meth in Italy.
When in doubt,
Tuscany,
meth it out.
Italy.
He said they were drinking something. What was the something? I'm very intrigued.
I don't know. They
Probably
Italians,
Sambuca.
They drink like Sambuca and like wine mixed with Coca-Cola
Campari.
and stuff like that.
I don't know. It just I don't have any explanation other than this is some Italian bullshit.
Has anything like that happened to you guys where it's like it's something that seems like it's a glitch in the Matrix, like you put something down and it just disappears, or
I thought those were gnomes.
Well, I don't know. That's my theory.
That's what we call them as friends. We've always said it's interdimensional gnomes. Which, when that happens,
Transdimensional.
yeah. So when that happens to me, I have a thing that I do, which is fucking batshit crazy, but I do it, and sometimes it works. Actually, there are two things I do. When I lose a thing, I just assume that it will come back to me, and usually it does. And a great example of this is one time I lost my phone, and I lost my phone for 6 months. I could not find this phone. I got a new phone. At the end of the 6 months, I found this phone again, wedged under the wiper, the windshield wiper of my car. It was just wedged underneath it, and it had been during the rainy season. I got it out of the wedge, and I turned the phone on. It was still charged. It still worked.
Plus, if it was the rainy season, wouldn't you have turned your windshield wipers on at some point during that time?
So it should have moved. And this was 6 months, and somehow the thing was under the windshield wipers.
I think Jared was gaslighting you for 6
Yeah,
months.
could it be someone that was living in that house fucking with you at the time?
I mean, honestly, yes.
Yeah.
The amount of gaslighting that I was, for full disclosure, the amount of gaslighting that I probably was living through in that house was insane.
Not from Jared, though.
Not from Jared, but
other people
in the relationship that I was in at the time. So that is a very valid argument that maybe someone was just fucking with me for the sake of it. But I don't know, 6 months.
Oh, that's some.
The only
I'm
thing
hearing beads over here. I was
the
like,
only
what does
thing
that
I
sound?
can think of that I know that's similar to this is I remember back on the Lifestyle channel. Remember, what was it?
Lifetime?
Yeah.
Lifetime channel. They would do like the not unsolved mysteries, but kind of just like these weird kind of happenstance videos, and they would go over stuff like just mysterious things. And one of them is like a famous dash cam video of a cop trying to pull a car over, and then it somehow it's like an old Buick,
right?
And it speeds up like double the speed of the cop car, and the cop tries to like keep up with it.
It tries to match the speed.
And then when eventually it goes off road and it's going down like this back wooded alley, and it's nothing but dirt and trees, and eventually there's a fence. And the cop has to slam on the brakes, and the car goes through the fence as if the fence wasn't there.
And then it just disappears, right?
And then it's just the taillights disappear, and it's at nighttime.
I gotta look this up.
Yeah.
And that's actual.
I've seen that video.
So that's the only, and they don't know. They've tried to like break it apart to see like maybe it just ran over the fence, and then the footage didn't catch that part. But then how
like
come
the frame
fence,
rate was bad or something?
Yeah, but how come the fence didn't stay down? There's a lot of different theories with that particular video, but then they also show, I think, if I'm thinking of
Ghost
the same
car. Here we
that's
go.
it, yeah.
Yep.
And if I'm thinking of the same video, that you can also see like right beforehand, it looks like something entered the car, like a
light or something
some
enters the
kind
car.
of yeah.
Yeah, I think you showed me this.
Yeah, I think this is it. But that's the only thing I can think of where it's like it's somehow like blipping out of the Matrix in a sense and ending up on the same timeline, but just momentarily.
Well, that's my thing that I was talking about earlier with this Sasquatch, Was the idea of like blipping?
Lauren's trashing it already.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this up 1,000 times, but like as Shellie so eloquently put it, like things just blip in and out of time. Like I think my phone blipped out of time. Like the fact that it was still working and able to turn on, that was weird. Because if someone was fucking with me, that would also mean that they charged it before they put it back underneath the windshield.
I just saw
wiper.
this. Yeah, the thing just like disappeared. And
Look,
like,
there's the fence. Sorry, Lauren. See?
No, you're right.
Yeah, that's creepy.
That is crazy.
Does anybody else have anything that's happened to them like that? Anything weird like that?
There's a video that I saw once, and it's a pretty popular one where there's a street, and you just watch this guy just appear out of nothing.
Oh, I've seen that one.
You've seen that video where it's like, where the fuck did that guy come from? And it's like, there's like he could have walked. You can see all the way around. He didn't walk to that spot. He just
appeared there. Yeah, I saw another one where it was like a car like appeared in an intersection and crashed into another car.
Yeah, shit like that.
I also like the ones, and I know they're not real, but there's ones of like cars in an intersection where it looks like they just got into an accident, but there was nothing there to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Just a shout out real quick. Nickel City X-Wing is here, and he's raiding our channel with a party of 19.
Oh, wow.
So a couple of conspiracy theories, I guess. Nickel City X-Wing, Ralph Macchio shot JFK. Someone
100%.
Someone else said Bruce Lee was assassinated. Okay. And Nickel City X-Wing also said, I do appreciate that everything spooky that's ever happened has never happened in range of an iPhone newer than 2006.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the 5G repels ghosts, you know?
If I was a ghost, I would only haunt people that couldn't afford technology.
That is the problem with just supernatural stuff in general, though. That's what sucks. Is like every single video where you're like, "Oh, this is it," you know, and it's always the shittiest fucking video.
It takes me 15 tries to get a decent photo or video of my dog. Like so,
That's
like if
true.
something's like appearing right in front of me, I'm not gonna be able to get a picture of it.
That's a good point. It takes me like 100 pictures to get one good selfie.
One good selfie, yeah. So
all
you're
right.
not gonna get a picture
So
of a ghost.
You
But
know
if I
what?
was
That makes
a-
me feel better. Yeah.
If I was a Sasquatch, I would only want to be filmed on the latest iPhone or the most expensive. What is the Red X? Red
X.
Red
I
cam?
do want to thank Greg for rating our channel. I appreciate it. Nickel City
Yeah.
X-Wing and everybody that's watching right now. We really appreciate you. You
Yeah,
came
thanks, guys.
at a good time. We're about to get into our feature segment, but do we want to do this Red Mist because we pushed this one off from the last time?
I don't. Have we done this? Because
Maybe
feel
we
like
did it already.
It's been lurking forever.
This says Pink Mist.
Pink Mist,
There's a
whatever.
difference.
Okay, you know what? We're
Yeah,
gonna skip
Red
that
Mist
one.
is me.
We're gonna get right into Project Looking Glass. Hugh, you're the expert on this.
I'm not
one.
okay. So I'm not
You're
an
the
expert on
expert.
this.
You're the
I'm
expert.
not an expert on this, but this
He
is
was an
crazy.
expert in bullshit.
I can come up with some bullshit. This all is made up. None of it's real. So okay, everyone here is familiar with Float. We love Float.
Oh yes.
Float Universe.
Float Universe.
Shout out to Float Universe and
Float.
his,
We want you on this podcast.
his mental.
But like remote. I don't want you to
unwellness.
come to my house.
Who's Float?
He's a crazy
What?
guy on TikTok.
What? Oh, you don't do Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah,
get it
no,
right.
I don't really have social media.
He's like the guy that works hand in hand with the dude that made the Great Awakening map. He also runs float tanks in Orlando, and he's kind of cute.
Well, that's why his name is Float.
Float
Yeah.
Universe, yeah. He's
But, like-
also bringing down
So
the
if-
cabal one
if-
post at a time.
If Hugh's attracted to him, then he definitely
But
smokes
hey,
meth.
hold up. High key, if you Google that Great Awakening map, like no matter how you feel
High
about
key.
Yeah, however you feel about conspiracy theories and stuff, it's just so much fun to look at that poster.
It is.
Yeah.
John had it as his background.
It's great
I
fodder.
still have it as my. The first time David ever saw it, he was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Nothing." And I just turned the screen off.
No, it's so great. It's great fodder for like if you're ever bored and you're like, I don't know what to do today. Pick anything on that map and just
Google
Google
it,
it.
I think it's
and
just
you'll
a-
have a fun time.
It's a testament to show how well organized schizophrenics can really be
Yeah.
and tie things together in such a concise way.
I mean, yeah, hire a skits because like they're a better worker than me.
A skits.
All right, so let's get into this. First of all, what's Project Montauk?
Okay, so I'm trying to pull up the damn thing, but the internet over here is slower.
What happened to the 5G?
I have 5G.
Wow.
And listen, the government knows we're talking about it, and it's
because you got the vaccine.
I've gotten so many COVID vaccines.
Yeah.
I've gotten like 14 COVID vaccines.
Now they say you
can
get
more
them.
than one. You can get
CDC's talking about mixing them now.
What?
In Canada, I think.
Nice.
For real?
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't Canada.
Can they put like
that
a
doesn't make
little
sense.
bit of like bitters and like some honey and then
Little
like
maple
maybe like
syrup.
smoke it before they mix it?
Put on some cheese curds.
Is that a cocktail joke?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so I can't. You got to pull it up.
So
from
the
over there,
first,
John. So the thing is this.
So she went out there to get your phone and it doesn't even work.
well, I'm loading. It's loading. So whatever.
Okay, so to stall while that's loading, have I told you guys? I think.
Oh, we don't need to stall. We got it right here.
Okay, cool.
The first public reference to a project.
Well, you got to talk about Montauk first. So
Okay, so Project Montauk is a conspiracy theory that alleges that there are a series of secret United States government projects conducted at Camp Hero or Montauk Air Force Station in Montauk, New York, for the purpose of developing psychological warfare techniques and exotic research, including time travel. The story of the Montauk Project originated in the Montauk Project series books by Preston Nichols, which intermixes those stories with stories about the Bulgarian experiment.
And Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
So this is where the Philadelphia experiment comes from too, is Project Montauk, right?
There's reference to that in there, yeah. So what's interesting is if you keep reading about that, it talks about this UFO researcher Jacques Vallée or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so according to researcher Jacques Vallée, the Montauk experiment stories seem to have originated with the highly questionable account of Preston Nichols at Belek, who both claim to have recovered repressed memories of their own involvement. Preston Nichols also claims that he was periodically abducted to continue his participation against his will. Nichols, who was born in 1946 on Long Island, New York, claims to have degrees in parapsychology, psychology, and electrical engineering. And he has authored a series of books known as the Montauk Project series.
There's also a documentary that they made and a movie that they've made to coincide with this. And side note, this particular conspiracy is what prompted the writers to make Stranger Things.
Oh,
sorry, but what does it mean to claim to have degrees in something? Because can you not?
That's what I'm
prove
talking
it,
about.
right?
Because that you're Shellie, you're right on my wavelength. Because I was sitting here going, this motherfucker claims to have degrees in parapsychology. Which
It's like Peter Venkman.
That's
like
my
from Ghostbusters.
That's my dream job.
Dogs and cats living together.
Yeah, Peter Venkman, also the dad from Casper, was a therapist for the dead. Remember that?
Okay,
he
yeah.
was a fox. But like, how do you get that degree? That's what I want to know.
You got to go to college, Lauren.
How do you claim?
How do you claim?
Well, a lot of
to
these
have a
guys
degree?
claim that once they were brought into these programs and then were kicked out of the programs, that they were stripped of their degrees by the government. It's like a conspiracy.
And supposedly their memories.
And Nickel City X-Wing says, because what accredited university offers parapsychology degrees?
Yeah,
it's got to be one.
Where
it's gotta be
can
one.
I go? Because I will.
Evergreen University?
I will go to that college. I will drop everything right now if I can get an
All right.
actual degree in parapsychology.
Starting next month, the Mysteriousnesses University, we will be offering degrees in parapsychology and bullshittery.
This is why we have Hugh here. Hugh knows how to bring in the money.
We can turn it into a business, guys.
Yeah.
Professor Human Centipede.
Yes. Okay, so here's what's weird. Before we get into this, I can't even open the document now on my phone, and I'm the one that created it, so I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, so this
Your
all
phone is definitely interfering with
Lauren, University of Virginia, get out of here.
I'm
You're-
out.
That's a
you're-
real
you're
thing?
Gone. It's
Bye.
careers in parapsychology, psychical research.
I'm out.
and that has to do with like after death, post death analysis, right? Parapsychology.
Yeah, the psychology of the dead.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I just thought it was ghosts or some shit.
so the whole concept of Project Looking Glass, in a nutshell, and I'm just going to summarize it before we get into this, is the military is they've gotten a hold of something to be able to do what's called time lensing and to kind of see into the future. So the first public reference to Project Looking Glass came from, actually, people might know him, legendary UFO whistleblower Bob Lazar, back when he first emerged into the public realm in 1989, when he identified it as one of the classified projects run out of the S-4 facility at Area 51. In an interview, Lazar replied to a question about the project as follows. So the questioner asked, wasn't there something about Looking Glass or Project Looking Glass? And he said, yeah, that was later on when we started getting into the heavy physics of it, because gravity distorts space and time and what they were trying to do. And I say, look back in time, and some people conjure up images of a time tunnel. They're looking at distorting time in microseconds to see whatever event they were trying to observe through a gravitational lens. So that was a different project that they were dealing with on that, but that was essentially playing with gravity to distort time. So while Lazar himself was not involved in Project Looking Glass, others have come forward to reveal that they knew about the classified military experiments to distort time and peer into the past. So among these was Preston Nichols, who was involved in a classified project called Montauk that was first publicly revealed in 1992 in a book called The Montauk Project. And then he just goes on to explain the project, and basically it was they were subjecting humans to bizarre military experiments. Some of the experiments included humans being trained to use extraterrestrial technology, such as a chair that significantly enhanced psychic abilities so that one could do extraordinary things like distorting or warping time to look into the past or the future.
Now, the whole lens that looks into the future or the past or whatever, that's the plot of a Philip K. Dick novel.
Also, Lovecraft Country, wasn't it? Like, weweren't they looking into the future?
I
they
think so,
got
but that was
sucked
more,
into it.
I think
They
that
got
was more.
sucked
That was
into
more like magic. Well, I guess
Yeah.
it was like technology in
Yeah.
that show. But yeah,
Yeah.
this. So I
Real quick, some funny chats going on here.
Okay.
Crandamaniac says parapsychology. So you're saying when I die, I could still be depressed? And referring to John's comment, Bahamut Dragonlord says ghosts or some shit is a 300 level course at University of Virginia.
yeah, ghosts or some shit taught by John J. Murray.
I'll take ghosts or some shit for 300.
So, like, what's the prerequisite for ghosts and some shit?
It's probably
Sasquatch or some
Ouija
other
board
nonsense.
101.
Ouija board, yeah.
Sasquatch and poop.
No, you need a 200 level course. You know, there's something in the between those two.
Yeah, there's
we'll
gonna
have
You
be-
got to watch this podcast.
Yeah, we got to
from
come up
beginning
with
to end.
Yeah,
you
it's
need
the
to- you need to
Mysteriousnesses
subscribe.
podcast.
It's the entire, all 39 episodes
Yeah.
is one accredited course.
Yeah, if you're watching right now, give us a follow. This isn't the only show that we do on here. We also do our regular show called Just Something Planet.
There's more than one thing to be shameful about
Yep.
in this
Yeah.
room.
And there's some great video game plays on this channel as well. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
fun
give us a
stuff
follow.
during the week. So
So they got a hold of this extraterrestrial technology. It finally loaded, and the U.S. military was able to get possession of it. And what happened was
So this is from like area or from
S4. So
Okay.
so basically S4 is where they kept the spacecraft that they recovered from Roswell, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So
So this is Roswell
if
technology.
you will, I guess.
Nickel City Xing, real quick, replied to Lauren's comment about the great video game clips. He goes, I don't know about great. I've seen Doug shoot. Nickel City X-Wing has, for the viewers who don't know, has this feud with our buddy Doug. For some reason, they've never met. They've never had any interactions with each other.
It's because he wants to play with us. You know what? Next Wednesday, you're with us, Greg. You're in. You're in.
Wow.
How about that?
the dedication it took. You're finally there, buddy.
You're finally there.
You made
Wednesday,
it.
you can play. Are we playing?
I don't know. I was just trying to appease him.
He still wants to be mod, I think, but we'll
make him a
see.
mod. Click it right now.
Okay,
I
so
don't know
if
how.
you
Bestow
wanna-
the power.
If you want to pull up the Twitter thread
Yeah.
from the doc so they can see it on the
Oh,
screen. if
oh
you
yeah,
want.
yeah, yeah. I got it. Yep.
So basically, the military got a hold of the technology, and it became classified. And apparently, this now merged out of the Montauk project, merged the Saturn time cube.
Now this is where
This is where it
you
gets fun.
lost me when you were sending me stuff.
Listen, I'm not trying to have you get found.
Yeah,
The whole point of this is to go down some crazy
Trying to
shit.
educate me. Trying to educate me.
Learn. So, anyways, there's this guy named Nick Hinton, and he came up with an entire conspiracy thread specifically pertaining to the yellow cube, which is one of the devices that the military is supposedly using to distort gravity and look in and peer in time.
Oh, the Tesseract. See, this is the
It
whole
looks
Loki
like it.
shows
Yeah.
about this.
So there's
yeah,
a lot.
This is what is the organization called? The
TVA, the
TVA.
Time,
Yeah, actually,
Time Variant
this is the
Association. or
perfect
whatever.
time to talk
Agency.
about this because of Loki just coming out. Like this is
This is also really
yeah.
creepy too, because if you look at the Twitter thread, the first post in there. So the guy says, Back in 2006, Dr. Dan Burish, a microbiologist, came out and claimed that he once worked for Majestic 12. Now, for all of our viewers that listen, we've already discussed the Majestic 12.
They're like the Illuminati guys.
They're the ones that are running the secret space program, and they were the ones on Earth that went out and developed.
I'm not gonna lie, this guy looks like someone from the 40s.
So wait, he also looks like who? Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, so it was created, the secret organization formed in 1947 was the Majestic 12. It was created in order to facilitate the recovery and investigation of alien spacecraft. And according to Dan, I love how we're just on a first name basis with Dan.
Yeah, now we're just
Good old Dan.
Yeah, you know, Dan in accounting.
You know, according to Dan.
U.S. intelligence agencies were in possession of several devices that were capable of bending space-time, allowing one to look backwards or forwards in time. They were supposedly part of a top-secret CIA group known as Project Looking Glass. Dan explained how one of the devices was built using instructions found in ancient Sumerian and Egyptian carvings, as well as technology recovered from crashed UFOs. The ship was said to have come from the Zeta Reticuli, a binary star system somewhere in the Orion arm of the Milky Way. The Seti I temple, I don't know if that's right, temple in Egypt is a very strange place. It has odd carvings. Even Egyptologists can't explain it. And some people think there's actually a portal to another world somewhere inside of it. It's
Stargate.
I feel like it needs a more mysterious name than Project Looking Glass, because if you're really trying to keep it secret as a government agent, Looking Glass, I mean, you're looking into something. And glass, I don't know. I feel like it could be Project Hearing.
Oh, you got to throw them off with a misdirection.
Yes, yeah. Throw them off.
Project, this is not time travel.
No, but to be fair, Project Looking Glass sounds like a festival in the middle of the woods. Like,
oh, I would go to that.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm
Shelley's like,
you,
when is
right?
that?
Yeah,
is Grizz
there?
there?
Yeah, Grizz is there. SZA is headlining Project Looking Glass in the middle of the woods. So that's why no one cares.
I'm gonna start that festival.
You should. Let's go.
We should, and then have Dan come
Yes.
and really get it turned the fuck
Let's
up.
All right, so get into this Tesseract thing.
All right,
This
so that they say that there's naturally occurring wormholes in these particular temples, possibly. So the ancients believed that the temple was built on the closest entry point to the next world, and for this reason, it was protected by a cosmic priesthood. That they were known to possess knowledge of the cosmos and were here to help humanity's ascension. Dorothy Eady, the infamous caretaker of the temple in the 1900s, was quite the character. She believed in a past life she had been a priestess in the temple. The New York Times once called her one of the most intriguing and convincing modern cases of reincarnation, and I have a link about her in another thing here. Dorothy also claims she fell into an interdimensional wormhole while inside the temple where she could see into the past. Did she fall into a naturally occurring wormhole? Were ancient Egyptians also able to see backwards and forward in time? Is that what inspired these carvings? And there's carvings in Egypt that look like spaceship things.
Oh yeah, it looks like a helicopter here.
Yeah. Well, that's also
and a yacht.
That's also interesting because, like, as far as the whole story of like Thelema and Aleister Crowley, like he had that whole thing where he was like fucking his girlfriend in there, and that's when he wrote the whole Book of the Law. Was after all the shit he saw after being in the temple.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, her name was Dorothy too.
Dorothy. Yeah.
So it's like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So, but this is where
aliens.
It's so crazy that it kind of like, it's almost like.
Yeah, you got to get into all
so
the
it's
TV
getting a little
shows and
crazy
stuff.
now.
Yeah.
This looks like Luke's land speeder here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the little thing.
They knew Star Wars was gonna be a fucking hit.
Yeah.
So then there's like a pharaoh dragging a weird sleigh thing. A lot of the stuff looks like modern technology. So anyways, according to Dan, now remember, all this is relying on Dan.
Nickel
not
City
us.
X-Wing says, according to Dan, a new show on NBC.
Yeah.
Thursdays.
According to Dan, he's losing his mind. The ancient Egyptian knowledge was used by the military to create devices used in Project Looking Glass. One of them was being described as a small magic box.
Oh.
And you can
That's
hold
me.
it. Yeah. Lauren's got a magic box.
What's up? Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Keep going.
That you can hold in your hands, and they actually called it the yellow cube. Okay? He says that the yellow cube was used by world leaders to see what fate had in store for them. However, they discovered that the future wasn't set in stone. They were shown many different probabilities. They attempted to use this knowledge to manipulate our timeline. They could now see which future would be best for them and what needed to be done to get there. However, they also discovered a future where the whole world was nearly destroyed. They saw that They saw that it was caused by the yellow cube and immediately shut down Project Looking Glass.
Isn't that a Twilight episode? That sounds exactly
Twilight
like
Zone?
Sorry, what did I call it?
Twilight?
The Twilight episode?
The Twilight
I
Zone.
do love Twilight. But
You admitted that. It's on tape.
I saw it several times in the movie theater.
Oh.
With his guy friends, not with a girl.
We all had a crush on Kristen Stewart. But anyways, yeah, I think that was a Twilight Zone episode, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Well, all this stuff works into TV.
It all adds up. Though.
Yeah, where it's like they shut down the project because it's going to destroy.
It was like aware of itself in
Yeah.
a sense. So here's where it gets even weirder, and this is where I kind of am like, So Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, a show notorious for predicting the future.
Yeah, you remember Trump coming down the escalator?
Yeah,
it was
Simpsons
like 20
did
years
it.
ago on
Yeah.
The Simpsons.
And I have a link for all. I have a link after this. We can look at all the times that The Simpsons predicted something. It has a whole bunch of them on there. But anyways, so the creator of The Simpsons said that the inspiration behind the fictional town in Springfield was a real place in Oregon where Groening had grown up, and it's a couple hours away from a town called Looking Glass.
What?
Yeah. Then this is where it gets a little,
Woo.
little woo-woo.
Oh, this is all true, obviously.
Yeah. Groening is rumored to be a high-ranking Freemason. Perhaps at one point he was involved in Project Looking Glass. Is the yellow cube where all the predictions in The Simpsons came from? Are they using television to subconsciously suggest what future to manifest? The Simpsons is arguably the most watched TV show to have ever existed. It is one of the longest running series in history, and to say the least, it's been able to influence the psyche of our average American every night. I don't know about every night. For the last 30 years. When things are this big, you should be suspicious. The Simpsons has made countless seemingly impossible predictions. In Season 10, Episode 2, The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, Homer accurately predicts the mass of the Higgs boson 14 years before scientists at CERN ever discovered
Like
it.
the actual weight of it?
He had
he's got a whiteboard with
on
equations.
on the
What
chalkboard.
the fuck?
And they went back and saw that was on there.
That math checks out. Is
Yeah,
what they say.
that apparently is the whatever it ended up being. And then the donuts at the bottom is actually kind of similar to the way it looked when they did the experiment or whatever. I don't know. And then it says the show also seems to be immune to the Mandela effect. Did the elites do this on purpose?
So the Simpsons has the Berenstein Bears,
Berenstein Bears,
which is the one I remember.
Stain.
Yeah.
No, I specifically remember the Berenstain Bears. I was not in the I didn't get Mandela on that one.
I'm from a different dimension.
Yeah, because I always read it and I was like, wait, everyone's calling it Berenstein, but this is Berenstain. I don't
was
get
I've always known it
Bernstein
as
for me.
Bernstein, but
Apparently we were wrong. Apparently it's Berenstain the entire time, which doesn't even sound like a real name.
No, it makes no
Berenstain
sense.
makes so much more sense.
Berenstain makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. She's
It
like, is
should,
this a
'cause
Jewish
you got
reference?
Mandela.
Some Jewish bears.
So, so they can tell. Or wait, whoa. Perhaps they use a show like an interdimensional timestamp. They can tell when they've shifted timelines because the television show makes references to things in our original reality.
Fuck.
Supposedly, the yellow cube is now somewhere out of reach. Some say it was thrown into the ocean somewhere near Antarctica. Some say it's not even on this planet anymore. Let's just hope no one finds it and turn it back on. It could mean the end. Anyways, thanks for reading. So there's more to this too that's not on this thread. Apparently,
Nickel City X-Wing has he said, to be fair, this is about the Homer Simpson equation thing. He said, to be fair, they knew the math already. That's how they knew to look for the particle.
Okay.
So it's like known math at the time.
Nickel City X-Wing, let us live our
Sorry.
conspiracy's best self here.
I don't know. How would they predict the stupid fucking act of Trump announcing his presidency on an
we'll go
escalator?
through the list.
But I mean, to be fair, it's not just The Simpsons that kind of predicted that. I mean, Back to the Future pretty much laid that out for us too.
No, Biff wasn't president in that.
He wasn't, but like Back to the Future.
He was definitely supposed to be Trump.
Back to the Future
Yeah.
2, he was definitely Trump, and he was definitely like a dystopic fucking asshole. Like,
Yeah.
for sure.
He was a slumlord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, well.
Well, Trump, yeah.
Tracks.
All right, let's go.
So, in reference to Looking Glass, though, apparently one of the things that I've read about it was it's not that the world ended or because of Looking Glass. It's in 2012 when the world ended or was supposed to end?
supposed to
was
end,
it
yeah.
2012? They could only see to 2012. They couldn't see past it. So that's why they shut the project down because it wasn't serving a purpose anymore. And apparently all of the timelines converged after 2012, and they could no longer predict the future.
And that's why some of us remember Berenstain Bears, and some of us remember
Berenstain.
And
Berenstain
that's
Bears.
why David doesn't remember it, yeah. So that's the thread on that. But then if you go into the next thing there, you can look up. So in reference to The Simpsons, there's an article that they actually went in. There's 17 situations that they found that The Simpsons supposedly predicted the future.
Oh, this is fun. Let's go through this.
Oh, is there a list? Oh, here it is.
There's a
Let me
list.
bring it up.
Siegfried and Roy's Tiger Attack on Season 5, Episode 10, Springfield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying. And
Well,
Love
that was
Legalized
inevitable.
Yeah,
Gambling.
to be fair, that was predictable. That's
Yeah.
easily predictable.
2 dudes living with tigers in a mansion. That was going to
They
happen.
gonna
But
die.
that could also have predicted Tiger King.
True. After Springfield decides to legalize gambling, Mr. Burns opens a casino where German magicians Gunther and Ernst perform a routine seeming to spoof the long-running Siegfried and Roy show. Tragically, a bit in which the animated duo is attacked by their tiger came to fruition 10 years later when Roy Horn was mauled on stage by a white Bengal tiger.
What a way to go out, man.
Autocorrect fails. This is predicted in 1994, came true in 2007.
That's a long time.
During a Springfield Elementary School assembly, Kearney asked fellow bully Dolph to take a memo to beat up Martin on his Newton. Apple's early attempt at a personal digital assistant. However, the machine translates the message to "eat up Martha" instead, foreshadowing the common messaging errors people blame
I
on
remember when
iPhone.
those came out. The Newton.
I do not remember the Newton.
It was like a Palm Pilot, but it was
I do
like
not
an
remember.
earlier version.
Must be
But
of
they
the
had
Palm
spell
Pilot.
check back then.
Must be from
you
my
know,
original
so-
timeline, Must be.
But to predict that though is a big thing.
FaceTime. This is season 6, episode 19, Lisa's wedding. So it was predicted in 95 and came true in 2010. In this futuristic installment, Lisa talks with Marge using her phone's video chat capabilities,
I mean, that
predating the
was-
popular FaceTime.
Yeah,
feature.
every science fiction
In the
Yeah.
story
60s
had that,
they
yeah.
had
And I
that.
love how we just take it for granted. Like
Yeah.
we use it all the time. And we're like, this sucks. Like, I'd rather just type you a message. Faulty voter machines. This is Treehouse of Terror. It was predicted in 2008. It came true in 2012. A bit inspired by the 2008 presidential election, Homer tries to vote for Barack Obama only to have a voting machine record his selection as John McCain several times. Coincidentally, when it came time for Obama to run for a second term in 2012, video footage emerged of a Pennsylvania machine switching a vote from Obama to his Republican opponent, Mitt Romney. The God Particle, that's the one, the Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, that's the one we already talked about.
Well, actually, I want to see that because does it actually say anything about the?
Yeah, what does it say about
If you work it out, you get the Wizard of Evergreen Terrace. He was pictured standing in front of a blackboard with an equation that predicted the mass of the yet-to-be-discovered particle.
So he predicted the
So this
mass.
is in 1998.
Yeah, but what Nickel City X-Wing was saying was they already had that math.
They had the math to start searching for it.
Yeah, they didn't know what. That was what they predicted that it was going to be. Is that there was a particle there?
But I wonder how they got their hands on that information.
It's probably public information.
guess.
Yeah.
It's
If
such
you
a
work it
weird
out, you get the
esoteric
mass.
stuff.
When you have a
I don't know if stuff was being released about that shit back then, but it could be.
Yeah, because that's all like when you have problems like that, you release it to the international community
Right,
to
so
see
other
who
people can
Somebody
get it back.
will figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Okay.
glad that Homer took it upon himself to
Yeah.
solve the equation.
Good Homer Simpson.
NSA spying scandal. That's
I feel
from
like
the
that
Simpsons
could-
movie.
that's also
the
another
Simpson
thing you can
family is forced to
somewhat
go into
predict.
hiding following their escape from a EPA biodome, including Springfield. The NSA locates Marge and the kids by listening in on one of their conversations. However, it wasn't until 6 years after the Simpsons movie hit theaters that Edward Snowden first blew the whistle on the government mass surveillance of America's phone and internet
Yeah,
records.
but I knew they were doing that before Snowden.
I was just like, I knew if they weren't doing it yet, they were trying to.
yeah.
So
Smartwatches could be
Smartwatches,
another one.
that's-
I
Dick
remember.
Tracy.
I remember a report coming out saying like after 9/11, there were trigger words they were listening for on phone, like pipe bomb,
Yeah, and that worked out real
or
well, didn't it?
just keywords that might signal another
Yeah.
terrorist attack. Or
America's Ebola outbreak. Let's see. It was the moment was widely circulated to the 2014 American Ebola outbreak when YouTube user The Controversy 7 created a video laying out a theory revolving around the Simpsons' predictive tendencies.
Yeah, but did they predict COVID? Because that's more important.
No, but the thing is, there was a Ebola scare back in the 90s, so that's where the Simpsons got that idea
so that's
from.
easy.
FIFA's corruption scandal. I mean, that's just FIFA. I mean,
Yeah, no doubts on that one.
Let's see. Greece's debt default. That was predicted
Now, that's
in
pretty
2012.
specific.
That's pretty specific.
Yeah. When Homer appears as a guest commentator on cable news show Headbutt, a ticker runs across the bottom of the screen that reads, "Europe puts Greece on eBay."
So what's interesting is who finds all this stuff? Like,
Yeah, how does anyone notice this shit?
yeah,
I don't know. People that watch The Simpsons a lot.
I don't know.
The Nobel Prize, Bent Holstrom may not have won the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2016, but one Simpsons character was betting on him 6 years prior in a scene from season 22 premiere in which Martin holds up a scorecard depicting the Nobel Prize betting pool with Lisa, Milhouse, and Database.
I'm more concerned about what that next thing on the ticker says up there, because if this is the future that's being predicted, go back up, John.
What is it?
It says Satan tweet. So
Satan tweets, okay.
Oh, that was just Trump's
is
presidency.
that just letting us know about
Let's see if
what-
this was a video clip. I'm trying to pull it up.
President,
loading.
let's see. President Donald Trump, we talked about that one where he comes down
that's
the
so
escalator.
famous,
That's Lady Gaga's halftime show.
That was pretty specific.
That's 2012. They predicted that, and then 2017.
But if you look at the image that comes with it, like her coming
Yeah.
out of the costume is almost exactly the
but
same.
maybe she was just a big Simpsons fan.
There is a possibility that like life
be.
imitated art.
Or
in
she was like,
particular
that seems
moment.
amazing. I'll do
Yeah.
that if I ever get the Super Bowl, you know?
Or, but check it out. What if you were famous and you knew somebody had already kind of spoofed the idea of you doing a thing? How much fun would it be?
Yeah,
to
just to
confirm
recreate it.
Yeah, that would be
They
great.
predicted Disney taking over Fox in 1998.
I mean, I think we all joke
Disney
about
owns
how
Fox.
everything is going to be
Huh?
owned by Amazon.
Disney owns Fox.
Yep, Disney owns Fox now.
You didn't
Yeah,
know that?
the
well,
next-
they 20th Century Fox.
Yeah,
to be
they own
specific.
most of Fox.
They don't own
own Fox
the
News
outlet.
anymore. Yeah.
But the next
Shelley's
great,
like, thank God, I don't want the liberals to infiltrate my news.
no, the next great war is gonna be between fucking Disney and maybe Netflix.
It could be.
That's gonna be the thing.
Shirts and skins.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, so Disney announces.
Or Amazon, actually.
Yeah, this was 20 years later. They showed 20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney Company.
I mean, that is kind of.
That's pretty goofy.
Team USA's Olympic curling win.
That's weird, though.
Drogon's fiery rampage on Game of Thrones. This was predicted in 2017, and it came true 2 years later. So they predicted that Drogon would burn a village down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
But
dragon.
the Game of
It's a
Thrones
dragon.
books probably came out before that.
No,
Not the end of it.
The Game of Thrones books never finished. So
he never
at
finished
that-
writing them before they did this.
Yeah, so the
series.
show, the books weren't out before the show.
Okay.
Let's see, Marge and Change, the 2020 experience. It was a 2020 bingo card. The Simpsons could already have at least 2 squares ticked off in the nearly 30-year-old episode Marge and Change. Not only does an unprecedented flu sweep through Springfield, but when the townspeople begin rioting and demand a cure for the virus, a swarm of killer bees that could be likened to the murder hornets that recently hit the U.S. unexpectedly came into the picture.
Yeah, but there was also a killer bee scare in the 90s. I remember that as well.
Yeah,
Because
Those
they were
came
talking
from
about the
Africa.
Africanized bees mixing with the European bees,
Yep.
creating killer bees. Their hormones go crazy.
That sounds weirdly racist.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are now learnt on Project Looking Glass.
But now I want to know.
So what does this have to do with Gen Zers inventing the secret?
Oh, that was what Lauren wanted to talk about.
Well,
oh,
it's
that's a
just-
separate. We're gonna try to get that girl from she was on TikTok from the Gateway experiment because she actually.
that's the astral projection, right?
That's what we're going to try to do
There's
next
so
time.
many layers to it, and
Yeah.
it would. I think it would have to be almost like the whole episode.
Yeah, well, TikTok has become really its own thing as far as like sharing information based off of like conspiracy theories, manifesting, witchcraft, The Secret. It like really, if you,
She doesn't like that I call it The Secret.
I know that like I don't like it in particular, but it's not
It's
not
no longer a
false. It's definitely no longer
It's the
a secret.
same idea.
Yeah, it's the same idea. But like, it's the witchy side of TikTok is actually very fucking fascinating if you are tuned into it.
And there's also Neville Goddard,
Yeah.
which has like it's like a similar type of
Yeah,
technique
well,
to
there's like
manifest things.
there's like witchy TikTok, there's conspiracy TikTok, there's deep TikTok, which is even weirder.
Is that like what the AI does stuff and like generates
yeah,
stories?
there's weird stuff like
yeah,
that.
I fell into that the other day.
Yeah.
Got into a weird scroll
So
hole.
there are some really weird places you can end up on TikTok, and I think it's worth discussing because that's kind of where like the general conversation is with everyone right now.
Right.
So
Right.
Click the Saturn. So there's actually one more component to this I thought to bring that. Yeah, click that. So there's in reference to the cube, apparently there's various
Well, this looks
archetypal
creepy.
things that coincide with cubes. So if you look there, so the black cube is part of Jewish, Muslim, and Masonic tradition. It can be seen in places like the UN Mediation Room,
You know about this, Shellie?
Mecca, the 9/11 Memorial, and art installations everywhere. And it's been a central plot device for films like The Cube, 2001: Space Odyssey, Transformers, Hellraiser, The Avengers.
Is there a
and many
picture
more.
you said?
So it just shows.
There's several links to pictures
There's links
on
to
here.
the pictures on there.
The
So,
Saturn time cube.
if you look at is it Kaaba?
The cube knows.
Kaaba, where
All
they go in
hail
Mecca.
the cube.
That's a
Yeah.
big black
Yeah, it
cube.
is. Yeah, right. Yeah.
The 9/11 memorials are two big black cubes in the ground. If you
Reverse cubes.
Yeah, well, are they though?
No.
Depends on which way you're looking at them.
Oh, I guess.
Because they could be three-dimensional.
Yeah.
And then basically what it goes into, there's folklore around Saturn with like time, like Saturn is the god associated with time, is also known as Cronus. And apparently it was at one point thought that Saturn may have actually been a second sun, and it was stationary in the sky. And the rabbit hole goes real deep into this, and basically all it turns into is the Jews are running everything, and
It always
but
That's
there's-
every conspiracy. If you boil it down enough, it just becomes like anti-Semitic rhetoric.
But what you're saying about Saturn being a second sun, there is some backup to that, where there's a lot of cultures that have mentioned a second sun setting in the sky, which has been thought
Tatooine.
to
Absolutely.
be. That's an awful way. It has been thought to be Saturn. So no, I have read that as
and
well.
it's all
I still
or
don't think you said that
Planet
right.
X.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
then-
from that song you wrote? Become the second sun?
No,
Is that what you're talking? That's something completely
That's
different.
not what I was talking about.
So it also says here too that Plato and the ancient Gnostics believed that the world was actually counterfeit and was created by an ignorant and flawed god known as the Demiurge. Have you guys ever read
Yeah.
about
Never
the
heard
Demiurge?
about this.
Yes.
You could do a whole thing just on the Demiurge.
You could.
And
Yeah.
it's almost so.
He trapped our spirits in a false reality, and it was up to us to free ourselves from using. This sounds like Scientology, actually.
So that comes back to there's a theory on TikTok right now that the Christian God does exist. However, that happens to be the Demiurge, and that is currently trapped in a space and time prison, and that's why Christianity doesn't work for
That's
its
why there's no more
followers
magic
because
anymore?
their God is being held in a space and time prison because it's actually evil.
Okay.
And that is
that makes sense.
that's not what I believe, but that's why I'm saying there is so much to dig out of the weirdness that is happening on TikTok right now. Like if you happen to be like on that algorithm, I'm seeing shit every single day while I'm taking a shit and I'm going, this is insane. And it's
Well,
so much
it is
fun.
insane because you've sent me some of these videos, and I'm like, these people have a very obvious untreated mental illness.
But it's
like
so,
all of these people.
It's so much fun to watch. Like really, it's just this is my entertainment.
Well, and just one last thing on this. It says there is now a newer theory that's out there that echoes a lot of sentiments of Buddhism and the Kabbalah, and basically it's sharing the same sentiments very closely, which is simulation theory.
Right.
And scientists and philosophers alike are claiming that we may be living in a giant computer or virtual reality. So movies like The Matrix, The 13th Floor illustrate the ideas and quite well. Although it's been around for some time, the theory seems to be gaining a lot more traction. And then goes
Well,
into
simulation
quantum
theory. I wanted to talk about this on the show, and
Well, that goes into the multiverse thing because I put the information there if you want to go into that.
I don't
like
think we
where
got
it
time to get into
started.
that. But Neil deGrasse Tyson did actually. I watched a video of him talking.
Oh, yeah.
About simulation theory, and it makes a lot of sense because he was like pretty much like almost all the way convinced that we were living in a simulation. You know, there's all the science kind of pointed to that, and then somebody else brought up to him a good point. Another scientist brought up a good point that if we are living in simulation theory, so that means that if we have the technology to make a simulation that's completely indistinguishable from reality, then it just keeps happening over and over again,
That's Elon Musk said that.
right?
Recently.
Elon Musk, but I'm not finished. So Elon Musk is an idiot.
He is an idiot,
don't
but he
listen to him.
did say that recently.
Right, but this isn't my point. So it happens over and over again. So if you create a simulation that's indistinguishable from reality, then inside of that simulation, they will
do the
eventually
same thing.
They will do the same thing
Right.
and create a simulation that's indistinguishable from reality.
It's turtles all the way down.
Yeah.
So Neil
Yes.
deGrasse Tyson's point was that we have not yet created a simulation that is indistinguishable from reality.
That we know of.
We haven't created that yet. So that means that we're either the very first reality that is going to create that simulation, in which case that we're not living in a simulation, or we're the very last one
that
and
hasn't
we
gotten there.
and we haven't yet created a simulation that will keep
My
the
thing
cycle
is,
going.
how do we know
So
what
it's
that even is, though?
So it's
because-
a 50-50
It's
shot.
still 50-50,
It's
yeah.
still 50-50.
Oh, and this has been around since Rene Descartes. He had the brain in a vat theory, which is like,
Right.
for all we
I
know,
don't know
with-
about that.
Yeah, he said that basically we could just be brains in a barrel experiencing life. Kind of like the golden thread thing you were talking about, how these bodies are just maybe connected through a thread to some consciousness. And it could just be our brains in some barrel somewhere out in some other dimension or something controlling these bodies.
I think Patton Oswalt had a joke that he did on his one of his stand-up specials, and he says, there's nobody here that can really prove to me that I'm not standing in a padded room right now, banging my head
Right.
against the wall and just making all of this
You'll
up
never
right
know.
now. Because no one can prove that you're not doing that.
It's true.
So sleep well
I think
tonight,
humans
everyone.
think too much. Just enjoy it.
So we got time for one. You believe in what?
By the way,
well, we just did the
when on our
multiverse
way
story.
out, can
Yeah.
you kind of, I guess, outro everyone? Greg,
We
Nickel
will
City
outro
X-wing was
everybody.
asking.
Oh,
He's
so
like,
they know who
I don't know
everyone
the
is.
dude behind the desk or the lady sitting on the right.
Well, this
We've
is
had 39 episodes.
Well, this
and I've
is
been
probably-
on
She
for
just
like
came in.
12.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
Shellie.
just
the
came
first
in.
one that they watched.
Oh.
Yeah. So we got Lauren Lance over here. We got Hugh Carey. We got Dave of the Day, which is helping us produce, and our guest for this evening is Shellie Harris. She's
Shellie-
holding a Batman domo.
she doesn't have her crystal, so she's got a Batman crystal.
Batman
Shellie
Crystal.
Sasquai.
Sasquatch.
Do we want to do one of these? So we kind of talked about the multiverse already. Do we
So
wanna
think-
do-
I
why
think
don't
we
you
believed in it.
actually ask the people listening which one they want?
All right. So what do we want? We want haunted doll collecting. Queen Elizabeth is really a man. Dorothy Edie.
That's the lady that was the caretaker at the pyramids.
Okay, so we kind of talked about that. So let's haunted doll collecting. Queen Elizabeth is a man, and we already talked about multiverse.
QE man, it's like unanimous in the chat. Everyone wants to hear about the Queen.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's,
well, I personally subscribe to this already. But, this is my
It's
theory.
actually quite convincing.
It is convincing because I've seen the fucking paintings, and that bitch looked like shit. Like, she looks like... If you
I like
look,
the girl that they had play her on the show. She was pretty.
but if you look at the paintings, it looks like... it looks... And this is not being mean disparaging about people who, like, change genders, but,
yes,
like...
it is.
Here's the thing.
Canceled.
Is that it really sucks when you have to learn to put on makeup from an older age. Like, I was very fortunate that, like, I was a little girl and I got to experiment when I was a child with makeup. But then you've got people who are transitioning and now they have to experiment with makeup at an older age. What I'm trying to say is that Queen Elizabeth was experimenting with makeup at an older age. Does
First
that
of all,
make sense?
no excuses. You're the queen. If you don't have the ability to hire the best makeup artist,
Queen Elizabeth doesn't pack her own purse to go
Yeah,
out of the house.
she's
Do you
not
think
running
she's
down
doing
to MAC.
makeup. Yeah, like
If she's got a dick, yeah, she's packing her own
No.
purse, literally.
What is
No.
this? What is this theory?
So we think Queen Elizabeth's got a dick.
She's a dude.
This is Queen Elizabeth the first, not the current queen.
But she also probably.
Well, she's
could.
not a dude. She's a trans woman.
What is
okay?
the basis
Let's
for
show
this?
some respect.
Well, we're
I never said she was a dude. No, but the current Queen Elizabeth though is like an
Was Queen Elizabeth really a
problematic
farm boy named Neville?
I mean, if you had to put a name to that face,
Neville.
it works.
A farm boy named Neville.
Queen Elizabeth I was arguably the most influential monarch. What's the Queen's name now? She's also Elizabeth II.
Yeah.
So this is Elizabeth II. This is Elizabeth I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I went to the grocery store today and I pulled up next to a car and they just had, for some reason, they had a like window decal in the driver's seat of Queen Elizabeth, and I pulled up and I looked over and it was like the Queen's old ugly ass staring at me.
So the second one.
The second one, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a different one.
Which I don't even think that's her real name.
I don't think
No,
they
changed their name.
You get one. Yeah, you get one.
Pick one.
But also, like in the chat, so like her boyfriend's dead. Should we do like a Deadpool on how long the current queen's gonna be alive? Because I give it
that's pretty disrespectful.
I'm American, and so yes. So I give her like 50 more years.
You think she's gonna live fit? Well, she's a lizard.
Lizard.
She's a reptilian.
Yeah.
Overlord.
So if anyone wants to put a Deadpool for the current Queen Elizabeth in the chat, that'd be really fun.
Queen Elizabeth I was arguably the most influential monarch to ever grace England's throne. She was a badass. I mean, Girlfriend has a whole era named after her. I can't even get the pizza place I practically live in to get my name right. All right. However, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Elizabeth's reign, though magnificent, was also filled with wild conspiracy. Perhaps the oddest of them is that Queen Elizabeth I is a man. Now, it's like influential women.
The Queen's a man.
Influential women like typically get that, I think. You know,
Yes.
like a Michelle Obama. Like the conservatives are still convinced she's a
People
man.
Jones
said like
she's
weird.
a woman
Yeah,
or not a woman.
People said
She's
she
a
had
man.
man arms. I
She's
heard
a man
that
because
couple
she did some
times.
curls a couple times.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck
I've
out
also heard Lady Gaga has a penis too.
I've heard that too.
I have heard that.
I've seen it, but
I've seen it, but I don't believe that it's real.
Wait, how does that work?
I sucked it off one time, but I still think it was fake.
Yeah.
Elizabeth was the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn.
Yep.
Henry beheaded Anne Boleyn at the young age of 3. The future queen was left with her paranoid father, the man who loved a good execution, and older half sister who would become known as Bloody Mary. So it was pretty much your average happy childhood. The conspiracy begins right about the time England was hit with the bubonic plague. It was a plague. It was a bad one. In an effort to dodge the plague, 10-year-old Elizabeth was sent with her governess, Lady Cat Ashley, and guardian Thomas Perry to the small farming town of Bisley. Hello, Bisley. In a way, it worked. Elizabeth did not get bubonic plague, and this is where the conspiracy takes a sharp turn into crazy land. Though she avoided succumbing to the Black Death, theorists believe she did die of unknown causes. So when Henry VIII said, "Surprise, I'm on my way to visit my beloved daughter," Lady Cat and Perry went into a nervous tizzy. They hatched a plan that would change England forever. Cat and T. Parr decided to save their heads by finding a look-alike in Bisley to impersonate Elizabeth. That's the thing. Like this kind of thing can like motivate people because Henry VIII was just killing all kinds of people.
Hell yeah.
There was no room for error in this.
Even if it
setup.
happened today, I would still be doing the same thing. Like if
Yeah.
I was in charge of the Queen's kids and oops, they died.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
you would
find a
replace
way.
them.
Yeah.
But my thought is like she doesn't have to die for this to be real. Because check it out. Your dad killed your mom. You've grown up with that shit. Do you really want to live in that fucking toxic shit? No.
Yeah,
You
it's
want
good
to
to be the
find
king.
you want to like
good to be the
fucking
king.
parent trap this not parent trap. Freaky Friday this shit.
Yep.
And you're like, "You know what? You be me. I'm going to go live on this farm. At least I'm not worried about my dad killing me."
Okay.
So maybe she lived.
So they
But she
decided.
picked another.
Maybe she became George Washington.
Ooh, they look the same.
So
Serious
unfortunately,
Project Looking
since
Glass.
Bisley was such a small town, there were no girls around the age of 10, but that was not going to stop the genius plan. They noticed that Elizabeth's good friend Neville had the same coloring and was the same size as Elizabeth. So they dressed Neville up like his dead friend and made him lie to the most feared man in England. Not a great deal for young Neville. There was no way this was going to work. It worked.
Why would Neville do that?
I don't know because
What
then you
would
get to be
Neville
king.
He was a farmhand.
Yeah, you get to be royalty.
May the Queen
God.
God.
Scones. And I was like, and then she was like, and then he was like, you ever see that?
So it
That's why.
Yes,
So
that's why.
it worked so well, in fact, that the ruse continued. Eventually, Henry VIII and Bloody Mary died, and Neville took the throne as queen, a reign that continued for 44 years. This is a really long time. During his/her reign, no one was allowed to see Queen Elizabeth Neville the first without the wigs and heavy makeup she was always donned. Her Highness dresses were known to be lavishly large and have high necklines. She only allowed a select few physicians to examine her and would wait for weeks at a time rather than let physicians in closer physical proximity to give her a checkup. Perhaps most famously, however, she was known as the Virgin Queen, refusing to marry. Right before she died, she was very adamant that no one give her an autopsy.
Now, when I die as queen, you're not allowed to do this. Do you think people actually abided by those rules?
Probably.
Oh, they flipped up the skirt for sure.
Oh, yeah. You
At
know the
that
Earl
time-
Essex was getting up in
Oh
that.
yeah, for
She
sure.
also undid almost all the terrible laws Bloody Mary put into place, restored goodwill between France and England, and fought tooth and nail to ascribe legitimacy to the arts. That, however, does not really bolster the conspiracy, so who
That
cares?
is something a gay man would totally do,
That's
though.
true. So centuries later, how does this conspiracy still have lasting power? You can think Bram Stoker, the Dracula author. It all started when Bram visited Bisley and saw a parade that featured a young boy dressed as a queen. Bram naturally had a couple of questions and was fascinated by the answers. He heard tales of Neville and a mysterious coffin that was found outside Bisley containing the body of a child dressed in royal Tudor clothing. So Bram said, "Fuck vampires," and turned his focus to this conspiracy theory. You can read the Elizabeth portion of his book, Famous Imposters, here. Hopefully you enjoy it more than the New York Times, which called it Tommy Rot. The conspiracy is particularly relevant in 2016 when the media is humming with question about how a woman in power is supposed to behave. So whether you believe that Queen Elizabeth I was or was not a man, one thing is fairly clear. It's clear. It's a drag to be the queen. Ended with a bad joke.
It was funny when it
So-
was on an accident.
Is it possible that Queen Elizabeth, maybe King Henry, didn't know the gender of his own child?
That's also possible.
And maybe Queen Elizabeth was, what do they call it?
Intersex?
Intersex.
It could be that.
It's
It's possible the high necklines and the thick makeup and stuff.
I
Like,
would
it
say
is kind
it's
of weird because
possible
most
that he
people didn't dress that way.
I would say it's possible they didn't know his child was intersex, but like they definitely know like the gender somewhat when the child is
But you
born.
would
Like
think-
they make a big deal out of
I was
that.
gonna say, yeah, you would think, especially because the lineage is passed down through the boy. So
Yeah.
I would think. So I don't know. Who knows? It's possible.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here. I want to thank Shellie Harris for being here. David, the day. Thanks
Shellie
for running
Harris is actually
the camera
me.
over there. Shellie Harris, typical lady queen over here.
Hashtag Sasquatch.
Actually, I have a question before we end. Shellie, did you learn anything today?
A lot.
She learned too much.
What is it? What is the most interesting thing you learned today?
Oh my gosh.
That's what we should ask every
Because you would, you just would not dial it down over there today.
She was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to say. Well, thank you all
Thank
for
you.
being here.
It was perfect.
Thank
That's
you
learned
fair.
nothing.
That's fair.
Thanks to Nickel
She's
City X-Wing
dissociated.
for rating our channel. We'll be back tomorrow night with the Something Planet podcast, so make sure you guys tune in for that. That's going to be at 8:30 p.m. Tomorrow night. That's Monday. And almost every Monday we do that. So
Yeah.
please come back. Love you all. Check out our Linktree /Mysteriousnesses, and that shows everywhere that we are.
We don't post anything, so be sure to follow.
Yeah, make sure you follow. Make sure to follow. We're out of here. Let's leave.
Just cut it off.
Bye.
I mean, I can play this again.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then you can just like